don't see how we can make bigger enemies.
To be offended or frightened of everything.
So you've become like the sort of Tony Scarface of podcasting.
Welcome to the morning show, everybody. It's Friday, and we're back in the studio. The Ukraine has been attacked from all fronts by the Russian Federation, so I'm just going to put it out there that that is a fucking horrible thing that is happening.
The Ukraine is weak.
The Ukraine is not weak. I mean, I
It's
know.
from Seinfeld.
Yeah, I know what it's from. We say it all the time, but I'm just... This is what I was trying to avoid. Like, there's an active war zone in on Europe's borders. I mean, in Europe. And I just wanted to address it before we got into the wacky news that we tend to. I'm sure we will talk about the Ukraine when our newsman George brings it up. But just wanted to address it. And in spite of the chaos, we're still going to try to have a good time, because even in terrible times, we should try to enjoy ourselves a little bit. My name is Phil Balabanos. You can check me out at balabanos.com. At the console producing this podcast is the Poseidon 69, who's doing something to my headphones right now. You can catch him on all the social media channels. And coming to us from the newsroom in a Brassard basement, George Jiggity Chan Jesus, the host of the Backstage podcast and the hit podcast, the #1 podcasted podcast of podcasts, Just Us Dads. Where him, you fuck, I wasn't expecting it. Where him and his childhood best friends, who are all fathers now, talk about what it's like having fathered children with each other's wives. It's really fucking progressive.
Wait, what?
What?
What did you just say?
Wingers! George, are we going to just start with the Ukraine and get it out of the way for the day? Talk
No,
about
I
like
think
us.
we should, let's leave the Ukraine. I think we're gonna have a nice little discussion about that.
You forgot patreon.com/Pantelis, motherfuckers.
I didn't forget. I was going to wait till he put his ass in the chair and I was going to be like, oh, surprise, but thanks for ruining it, Poseidon.
Oh.
I did forget.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Patreon.com/Pantelis,
welcome.
where you can subscribe as a patron to all of the incredible things happening on this channel. In case you don't know, in case you got here by accident and you don't know where you are, Pantelis, famous comedian, he is the most producing Patreon maker on Patreon. He's putting out 192.7.
What?
What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
I wanted to say 24/7 also, I got confused. He's putting out 192 podcasts a week on Patreon. Fuck, who cares? Just go check it out.
Yesterday we put out a nice bonus tape. It's a little bit long, about an hour and a half. It's usually longer than what we do, but very entertaining. You guys should go listen to that shit. If you have the Patreon app, you get it right on there.
Patreon have an app now?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
I
a
didn't know
very
that.
honestly. I enjoy it. I like the app.
I did not know that.
It could use a few tweaks, but everything gets better with time.
We'll call Jack Conti. We'll let him know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't forget to subscribe if you're not. And
I mean, if they were, they're not going to now after that fucking plug.
go fuck yourself.
George,
Hey man,
hit me with the news, buddy.
Everything's okay. 192.7.
192.7, bro. Bam, bam, bam. I think I've been doing too much math with my kid, because she adds stuff and then she goes 19.7 400. I'm
you
like,
became
what?
Belgian for a second.
Belgium doesn't do math?
No, because they go on set. Like that's how
Oh,
they.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Fuck the Belgians. Oh, honestly, ugh.
What do they do? I didn't get it.
They have that weird.
Like 97, they'll go on set. Like they'll
Instead
say
of
some.
97, they'll say,
Yeah.
yeah, they have this weird
Yeah, they have
Flemish
this-
nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay.
George doesn't give a
Not
fuck.
interested at all. All right, guys.
Yeah.
George, I'm
okay.
good. How are you doing? How are you doing down in
we
Brassard?
have,
Ignoring
a
me,
nice
cool.
little bruschette there of news there. We're going to start.
I'm sorry, what?
A bruschette.
What is this, Casa Grec, bro?
Yeah.
We got a brochette.
Bro, shit. Yeah, so we're gonna touch a little provincial, a little federal, and then obviously we'll talk a little bit about international stuff.
Touch me, George. Let's do it.
Oh, actually, I forgot one. Yeah, the one little local one. Actually, we'll start with that one. Nice little refreshing piece of news.
Ooh, okay.
Everyone, I think, remembers Mamadi Farah Kamara, that poor man who was stalked by the cops.
For
and
being
and
black.
somehow the cop ended up on the floor, and he thought that person that he had just arrested or stopped for a traffic violation got out of his car and beat him, which in fact wasn't true. Wrongfully accused, spent 6 days in jail, came out. It was a whole thing in Montreal. Last July, I think we even spoke about it, or last, I can't remember. It was towards the end of the year, I think, July or August.
George, you're not speaking into the correct microphone.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me just double check. Thanks for catching that.
He didn't.
Yeah, you're right, buddy. Hold on.
You're speaking into your computer microphone.
All right. I'm coming out of the computer. How about now? It should be coming out.
Yeah, we were able to hear you, but you sounded a little bit.
How odd.
Yeah,
In my headphones, it sounds exactly the same. No difference.
Yeah.
It's very strange. All right, go on.
I'm sure it's better now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so it was a whole thing, and we had spoken, I think, last year towards the end of the year, where he had announced that he's suing the city of Montreal for over $1 million. News came out yesterday that the city settled with him. They obviously, both city and the police recognized the mistake. They had apologized to him. Here's the funny thing, though, Phil, Poseidon, you're suing the city.
Yeah.
Phil and Poseidon. I was telling you both.
No, we
Oh,
understood
okay.
our names. It was just
Okay,
weird.
okay.
Yeah, go on.
If you're suing the city for over $1 million, would you settle for 300,000?
No. I wouldn't settle until I get my million and their firstborn. I would descend upon them like a plague of Egypt, George, if I had been mistaken for the wrong black guy.
Yeah.
Especially if they mistook me for the wrong black guy. I'd really be pissed. I'd be like, are you fucking serious?
So he settled for $347,000, according to some reports. Initially, it was kept secret, but I think there was a leak, and it came out.
Yeah, but maybe he went high so he can get like 300. Maybe. I mean, he's a new arrival to Canada, right? He's a
Yeah, that's
student.
true.
Like, how much wealth could he have amassed already? The $347,000, I'd probably take it.
It's a solid amount. I'm
It's a
just
solid
saying,
amount,
there's a huge
yeah.
difference between what he initially sued the city for. I mean, I don't know how they calculate these and how.
I think they just pick a number and hope for a good number to come out of it. Like, I want at least 200,000. Okay, let's ask for $1 million.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Look, obviously, you have to take into consideration the headaches, the courts, the lawyer fees,
and it's
all that
expensive.
stuff
Yeah, exactly.
for sure. So yeah, anyway, so that's what happened with our buddy Camara.
You forgot his name, man. He has too many names. What was his name?
Yeah.
Mamadi Kamara, no?
Mamadi Farah Kamara.
Bro, that's a rap name right there.
It's a big time rap name. Yeah. So anyways,
it
hopefully you
rhymes.
can put this whole thing behind him because what a crazy experience to go through, right?
I still can't believe that. It's so hard to understand how you could be assaulted by an individual, right? And then minutes later, you identify the wrong individual. I mean, I understand you've been through a trauma, you've been hit, shot. I don't remember what he was. He was hit with a crowbar, or what was it?
No, he just got nailed in the back of the head, but
Yeah.
he also lost his service arm. The guy took his weapon.
Did they ever find that weapon?
Oh no, they haven't found it. At least not that I know.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Anyway.
good for
so
him.
that's-
I'm happy that he got something out of this because
I'm
that was a
happy,
traumatic
and,
experience for
hopefully-
him.
Hopefully, this whole thing could, he could put this whole thing behind him.
What do you got on the
Let-
provincial level?
Yeah, let's go over to provincial because things are really heating up, and I'm just gonna bring everyone kind of up to speed on what we've been speaking about over the last couple of months, where the Quebec government, or actually the CAQ government, wants to beef up the French language legislation here in Quebec with Bill 96. We've spoken about that many times. For those wondering what that is, basically there are language laws here in Quebec, and the CAQ government wants to beef it up, basically. In terms of the practice of the language and the teaching of the language and a bunch of all these things and all these things. So particularly now within the context of this bill being debated in committee, there's one particular aspect that is dealing with English CEGIPs in Quebec. And this has caused an enormous ruckus during the committee. If you guys remember, and we spoke about this. The government had announced over $100 million, I think, $120 million to Dawson College for an expansion project that they had. They're really out of space for the amount of students that they have. Like, they're in deficit and they don't have that room they needed in order to accommodate the kids. The government had recognized that and they had funded the project. Everything was perfect. Everything was confirmed. It was announced. The money was to be made available, and then suddenly the government backtracked and said, well, you know what, instead we're going to help the French CEGEPs better. We're going to prioritize that before the English CEGEPs. So that created this huge wave of, first of all, misunderstanding. I was like, well, how the hell does this even happen? When you announce the amounts, it's been approved, it's in the budget. What the hell's going on?
What's the legal recourse here, George? Like, not legal, that's the wrong choice of words, I'm sorry. What's the protocol when the government has approved something within the budget and is now like, no? Like, what? How does that, has this ever happened? I'm sure it has.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this happen. Like, it's in the règle budgétaire, so I don't know. So for me, it's a first.
I keep seeing a lot of people who I know who are working at Dawson. They've started like an online campaign. I don't know if they're sharing like a petition or something, but
yeah, it's a petition. I was going to talk about that in order for the government to go back on the decision and give the funds. I think yesterday it was up to close to 6,000 signatures, maybe more. I'm not sure. So this particular subject on this new bill that's being proposed has created a lot of a lot of noise, right? And this, so the parliament suspended this week because of March break, and yesterday all fucking it was just chaos in the committee because what's his face, Simon Jolin Barrette, the justice minister, and he's also the minister responsible for the French language.
The minister of communism.
He surprised everyone in the committee by introducing a new amendment in that in an article that they were reading in committee. Now, here's what's happening. So first, we have this issue that the government is backing away from providing the funds to the CEGEP, and now these new amendments that they made, basically they took what the Liberal Party had proposed and they kind of negotiated so that they can introduce French language courses in CEGEPs. For people to get their diplomas. So everyone kind of seemed to be okay, except for the Parti Québécois, because the Parti Québécois basically wants the government to impose the entire Bill 101 for CEGEPs. So the same way that I wasn't allowed to go to English schools for elementary and high school.
Oh yeah, your parents are immigrants.
They want to impose that on CEGEPs as well. So they think that the government isn't going far enough. The Liberals
George, I have a question for you. Have you ever interacted with these groups, like when you were in politics? Like, you ever spoken to these people who think that it makes sense to deny people access to another language?
Actually, I have a lot of friends in the Parti Québécois. I mean, look, this is their ideology. They're just adamant.
But like, what's the logic behind what they're saying? Because they're not only taking away the ability to learn English from Anglophones and Allophones, they're also taking it away from Francophones who would want to, right?
Look, the way the law was done was that if you're not grandfathered in, you got to go to French to French schools. But the thing is that
I'm not asking about the law, George. I'm asking about like the logic behind the law. Like, have you ever spoken to someone who explained it to you and it made sense?
Well, I don't need to speak to anyone for them to explain to me. I think that there's logic behind the fact that you want to protect the French language. I've spoken about this. I'm in favor of Bill 101. I'm a product of Bill 101, and I don't see the negative aspect to Bill 101.
Where'd you go to CEGEP?
No, we're talking about...
I'm not talking about high schools. I'm talking about CEGEP.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Where did you go to CEGEP, George?
I agree with you. This is where the big problem is now, because, and this the other surprise that he leaked in, well, he brought into the article that they were reading, that, remember when we said that they're going to put a cap on enrollment? I think it was like 10% or 11%.
Right.
That's gone. And they're just freezing enrollment from now on for English CEGEP.
That's not new.
No, it's not. It's not telling you you're an English CEGEP. You cannot enroll more than this percentage. It won't be that. Now you're done. No more enrollment.
So whatever your number is, that's what your number stays at.
That's what it is. So this now has become an issue of rights, right? It's like, why are you blocking adults? They're they're 17, 18 years old. If they're old enough to be responsible to vote for your government, do you not think that they should be able to decide what's Egypt to go to, and if it should be French or English. So this is a huge issue right now being debated. So I don't know exactly if the bill is going to pass. There's over 200 articles, and then we're only at the 50th. So I don't see how they could.
I mean, I stand by what I've always said about Bill 101. I mean, I understand its reason for existence. I can respect the need for something like it. I don't like that any government, no matter what the reason behind it, would tell me this is what you can and cannot do for your children's education, for your own education. I think that is a crazy thing that exists in our society, and most people in the Western world would be like, "Wow, that's insane."
It's ridiculous. And see, this is what the liberal opposition leader has been arguing yesterday and before yesterday, because she's been saying that, yes, the government said that they will not impose Bill 101 in Egypt, but they're doing it indirectly by telling you that you're freezing your...
it's the same way they didn't force us to get vaccinated, but they coerced us into doing it.
Exactly. So if I want to go to English Egypt, but the Egypt cannot take any more students, what does that mean? It means that I'll be obliged to go to a French one because there's no room for me. So indirectly, you kind of are imposing Bill 101, even though you're saying that you're not. In practice, that's what's happening. You're closing the door to students that want to go and study English.
It also, by doing this, by capping them, it also means they never have to allocate new funds to any of these schools because they're not growing. So they don't need new funding.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're choking them to death. Basically, they're suffocating these institutions. I mean,
I saw the figures. Let me just.
How does this affect the private Egypts, like the Marinopolis College?
Is Marinopolis really private?
It's fully private, as far as I know. I think it's the only private English college in Montreal. I mean, I don't know the other ones. There's only 3, right, on the whole island. No, that's not true. There's also the one in the West Island. What's it called?
John Abbott.
There's John Abbott. There's Vanier. There's Dawson. And there's Marinopolis that I know of. I mean, I don't know a single, except for Collège Marie-Victorin, because I shot a video for them. It's the only French college I know. And I'm sure there's hundreds of them on the island.
Yeah.
But the English ones are all, there's not that many. Like, fuck, man.
I agree with you 100%. So, like, the PQ now, their position, because they're saying that, listen, why can't we impose Bill 101 in any case? In this particular case, for Dawson or in general, I think that they took an average of all English CEGEPs in Montreal. The Anglophone population, the Anglophone student population, represents about 20 to 25%, which means that the rest, the other 75, are all allophones or francophones. So why not just, and these are students that went to school in French for elementary and high school. So why not just impose Bill 101 in CEGEPs as well? I think that there should be a limit. I mean, I think it's going too far to impose Bill 101 in CEGEPs. I think at that age, you should be able to decide what to do.
But at the same time, you got to remember one thing, George. CEGEP is it's a Quebec thing, right? Like, it doesn't exist anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And it's also stupid as fuck because it's basically high school, but you have the freedom of university.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
If it's basically high school and they can apply it to high schools, like, I'm arguing against my own opinion here, but...
I'm just curious, what happens in Ontario? They go from Sec 5 to university, or the high school has
they do 6 years.
Grades?
I think they do They do 6 years of high school.
Okay, so they do an extra
so it's 7 through 12. We do 7 through 11. Yeah, that's right. We graduate in grade 11.
So they get to university a year before we do.
Yes, they do sometimes.
So the
whole Quebec system is bizarre. It's not even based on the lycée system in French. It's just its own system. I'll never understand how CEGEPs, like, I'd love to look into the history of how CEGEPs came to exist because it's very weird. Like, it's a weird system.
It kind of makes sense if you think that between high school and university, there's a transition where, yes, like you said, kids are free. I mean, you have this freedom to do what you want, to go to school or not to go, so that the kids could figure out a little bit what they want to do in university. But that really doesn't happen because kids end up in university still feeling lost about what they want to do.
Yeah, because we just have a really good time in CEGEP.
Exactly.
It's basically a good time, unless you're in the health sciences and you want to be a doctor.
Those cafeterias were always
packed, smoking on the porch. I mean, look, I shouldn't shit on CEGEP because CEGEP is how I figured out what I was going to do with my life. Mostly by not being at CEGEP and doing other things.
Yeah.
But we're not arguing on whether or not CEGEP should exist. It probably shouldn't. to be completely honest. But like the idea that at that age you've given them this test run, like Quebec's culture and the system for academia has built this institution, these institutions, CEGEP, right? And it's they're basically, without actually saying it, we're like, look, we're giving you some time to figure out what you're into, right? Except now we're saying we're giving you freedom to figure out what you want to do, and we're treating you like adults, except we're also deciding what language you can study in.
Yeah.
And I remember, because I was in university also, like I did do certain courses in university, the kids coming out of the French system who wanted to study in English, because, I mean, Francophones, not like allophones who were in the French system. The ones who were in French CEGEPs who came into the English university system because, I don't know, they wanted to work abroad or they wanted to go to the States or whatever, or the program they wanted was better in English, it happens, they struggled. So, like, if you're, I don't know, you're a Quebecois kid, 40th generation Quebecois, and you've been in the French system your whole life, when you get to CEGEP, maybe you're like, maybe I should start fucking testing my English in an academic setting because I really want to study something. I don't know, something that requires me to go to an English school, or maybe I want to go to the States. Like, why would you take that away? I'm not complaining for me, for the allophones, for the anglophones. I'm complaining and I'm pissed off for the francophones because you're taking this away from them. They're not going to be less Quebecois because they learned English.
Yeah, and there's there's been a bunch of articles that came out yesterday and today, and there's a bunch of these kids that are being interviewed, like whose parents don't speak a word of English. They were raised francophone. I mean, they're French, they're Quebecois, they're proud to be Quebecois, but their professional aspirations are such that they want to work internationally. They want to perhaps open doors to the U.S. So. Or across Canada,
or anywhere else in the world that's not a French-speaking place. Yeah,
so they want to get that knowledge of the English language, and they all say, like, it doesn't mean that I'm losing my French identity or my Quebecois identity. It has nothing to do with that. It's just me aligning myself for where I want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't understand what this obsession is and why they kind of picked the CEGEP to prove a point.
They're just moving up the chain. I wouldn't be surprised if in 15 years some separatist government, some nationalist government goes after university systems. It doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to divide people and create an uproar right before an election period so they can have something to argue about, a moot point that makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I would even tell you that even the other proposition that the Liberals made to impose 3 courses in French, I mean, I get it. You want to show that there's some sort of solidarity with the English-speaking CEGEPs, that look, we're standing side by side. We support the French language. You need 3 French courses to graduate. So there you go. It's a contribution. Let's be honest here.
Who cares?
If you don't speak a word of French and you've done English school your entire life and you end up in CEGEP and they tell you that you need 3 courses in French to get your diploma, you're not gaining anything from 3 courses. Like,
you're getting a headache.
Like, nothing is going to change.
No, nothing, zero.
You're not going to start speaking French because you did 3 courses in that language. It's like, I get it. I get why they proposed it, but at the same time, I don't understand. There's no logic to it. Like, what's the point? Like, it's not gonna contribute to literally anything. 3 courses.
Oh, it's a stupid fucking suggestion.
It's not going to make you learn French or speak it any better than you were before. So I don't understand. In any case, all this to say that the emotions ran high yesterday at the National Assembly, and there was one hold on, let me just double check. Oh yeah, the other stupid proposition that came from Quebec Solidaire, again reminding everyone that's the radical left separatist party at the National Assembly. I think they have 10 or 11 seats. They propose that the funding should be proportional to the percentage of the student population that goes there. So if you have only 25% of English students, then that should be reflected in the funding that the government gives.
On the surface, that makes sense as a proposition when you first hear it, right?
Yeah.
But then you think about it, you're like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense because those institutions will crumble into nothingness within a decade.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It makes absolutely no sense. And then it's funny because I was listening to that whole debate happening, and they just got like destroyed by the other parties. They're like, yeah, okay, so cool. How about now we start funding hospitals the same way? What would you say about that? Because there's less English people, we're going to give less money to the like. It makes absolutely no sense, and I don't even understand how people can even come up with that proposition. But
I'm
anyway,
telling you, on the surface, it makes sense. Like at a glance, you know.
yeah. Anyway,
what's going on in the chat? Are they fighting?
We'll see what happens.
No, they're
Hopefully, I think they take a week off now. They're going to be back in 2.
They're having
We'll
their little March break.
The CAC obviously is pushing for this to pass really quickly because I have a feeling that they want to call elections. They're saying that they don't want early elections, that they're going to follow the course and call elections in October. Something inside me tells me that they still might get everyone by surprise and call an election maybe in March or April. We'll see.
Kim makes a good point in the chat. What's the comment? Seriously, there's so much stuff happening. This must be a diversion. I wouldn't, you know what? I believe that. That's like, look, we got a lot of shit we got to do that people aren't going to like. Let's ignite this language war again for a little bit. Let's piss people off. How are we going to do it? Let's just fucking cut off all that funding we promised. Everyone's going to be mad. No one's going to notice all the other shit we're doing. I mean, politicians do that all the time.
Look, at this point, like you said, they're aligning themselves for an election. So they need to start tracing the lines to see, for people to camp themselves where you want, or where do you want to go. So obviously the CAC is playing into the regions. That's where their big support comes from. Nobody cares about what's happening. Like the majority of their support doesn't really care about what's happening in Montreal, Laval, the big metropolitan areas. They don't care. Their kids don't go there. They don't study there. They don't speak English. So
like there's no English fucking SAGEPs in the regions, right?
Sorry?
There's no fucking English SAGEPs in the regions. Does Quebec City have one?
I doubt it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Let's check online.
Yeah, just write a list of English SAGEPs in Quebec.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if there's one in some like random like Lac Brome has like an English SAGEP. St. Mary of the Angels or something. Nobody goes there.
I would doubt it.
I wonder.
I would doubt it.
But I would doubt it too. I'd be very surprised.
So obviously, I mean, now everyone is, trying to organize themselves in order to position the population with respect to the elections that are coming. And look, Legault's playing into his crowd, man. I've been saying this since the beginning, and things I think will start getting more animated the same way that Justin Trudeau does, guys. It's the exact same thing, right? It's maybe not the same subject matter. But if you look at the last federal election, that's exactly what happened. It was us versus them. Pick your camp and let's go, right? So this is a little bit what we're going to start seeing maybe in Quebec as well. Speaking of Justin Trudeau, let's get to that other fucking nonsense that I just don't understand. And we exchanged some messages. The guy puts everyone in this stressful situation.
Are you talking about
Justin Trudeau.
Your best friend. Yeah, your best buddy.
We're at the federal. So he announces that he's going to be invoking the Emergency Measures Act. Everyone, like the population gets divided on whether or not we should move in that direction. The provinces are up at arms saying, we're against it. You better not impose that in our territory. The whole thing, right? An incredible amount of hours spent last week debating on the matter so that they could vote on that this week on Monday. Finally, Monday, they vote in favor. It passes.
And then it goes to the Senate.
It goes to the Senate. The Senate is debating Tuesday. And Wednesday, in the middle of the day, they have to suspend because Justin Trudeau comes out with an announcement saying that he's revoking the Emergency Measures Act.
George.
What is going on with this fucking guy?
May I? All right. Two things have happened here. One of two things, or both. One, he did it, and now we all look like assholes, the ones who were screaming about it, because we're like, he's not going to get rid of it. He's going to keep extending it. Right. He's stepping on our rights and freedoms. Everyone was angry. The provinces were angry. A lot of people were angry. By revoking it, he's like, look, guys, I used it for what I said I was going to use it. 1, 2, 3 days, whatever. It's gone. Everyone's like, see, you assholes, you're fucking conspiracy theorists. So the next time he needs to invoke it, there's sweeping support. That's one option. Two, it was not going to pass in the Senate, and because he's such a fucking narcissistic egomaniac, he's like, no, I can't have this get stopped. I'm going to remove it. Me, the Prime Minister, Justin.
I heard that argument as well.
Or both.
I heard that argument as well. But our friend in the Senate was telling me that, look, he has the majority in the Senate. So if he wants, it could pass. Now, I don't know if something happened in those during that 1.5 day debate that happened, that even the liberal senators or independent senators were going to side against the government, maybe. I don't know.
Look, I'm not making a
also
statement.
heard
These are my
news-
hypotheses, George. One or the other, or both. But I'm not. I don't
There's a
know.
lot of things happening, right? And the other thing that also doesn't make sense to me, and which came to me by several people.
Oh, I
is
know
that
what you're
his
gonna say. I know what
caucus
you're gonna say.
is-
Why
is
do
that
hot
his-
dog buns and hot dog packs not have the same amount in them individually?
Always
Is
ask
that a
that
fact?
question.
It is a fact, by
It
the
is
way.
a fact, yes.
Just move on. Look
And
at
it-
George's face. He's like, "What?"
And it upsets me very
I
much.
never noticed that. So wait, the buns come in 6 or 12, right?
No, the buns come in 8.
8 or 16,
8 or 16.
but hot
yeah.
dogs come in 6 or 12. Anyways, moving along.
Anyway, okay.
You have to
yeah.
buy.
No, okay, stop. We're not
It
gonna do
doesn't matter
this.
about
I
the
was just fucking
formula.
with
We
him.
know that you need to buy more.
Poseidon's like, let me pull
Okay.
out my quadratic equation.
No, you need to buy 3
No,
hot dog
we're not
bun
doing
packs.
this. We're not doing this.
But 2 hot dog packs.
Why are you still talking? We're not doing the
Anyway.
hot dog math.
But I want to.
Do it by yourself.
It's like the pizza math.
So-
You get more
So
pizza
the
in 1
other-
large and 2 mediums.
Okay.
So the other thing that I heard a lot from different people on the Hill is that his caucus is completely and utterly divided. All the shit hit the fan this week. But then again, why the hell would you go out on Monday and vote in favor, and then behind closed doors fucking destroy each other and saying this doesn't work and we shouldn't do it? That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Because everything else that happened makes a
so
shit ton of sense, right, George?
No, it doesn't make any
What are you
sense.
looking for logic here? Things have been happening. We don't even know what the fuck's going on anymore.
I just don't get it. I mean, that I think came as the biggest surprise of the week. The guy passes what he's been arguing for. Like, just think of the amount of hours that people
I
spent
think
working on this shit.
he's gaslighting all of us. That's what's happening. So that next time, easy peasy.
By the way,
Yeah.
okay. I can answer the question
Which question?
of the hot dog buns and the hot dogs. Okay, hot dog buns. The reason why they come in rolls. Sit down, bro. I have to educate the peoples.
The people's. yeah.
So the reason why they come in packs of 8 is because sandwich rolls or hot dog buns most often come 8 to the pack because the buns are baked in clusters of 4 in pans designed to hold 8 rolls.
Okay.
That's the buns. Now the hot dogs. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
You know, I asked him to find something before. Never gave us the answer. Finally got it.
What are you talking about? I brought it up, and you're like,
too
it's
late.
not important anymore.
I said it's too late because you took too long. Meanwhile, the hot dog buns, he had to stop the whole conversation to tell us how the
What? Hot dog?
fucking
What?
the
Who said hot
bun
dog?
math, bro. I'm on this, bro. I figured it out. If you could only put that much fucking effort into like buying and setting an alarm clock.
And it's actually it's actually packs of 10 for hot dogs because each
10.
hot dog is 1.6 ounces, and then 10 makes
Okay. Moving on.
so you get a pound.
Yeah. Oh, you get a pound.
Let's go on because I got a jet. So let's go on to
Where are you
international
going?
news.
Why are you
Obviously,
leaving?
Are you serious? Oh no, Phil's gonna be stuck with me.
I'll be fine.
I gotta go around 10 to.
Bro's got business.
It's 10:35. It's early.
Yeah,
George.
he's fine. George,
Yeah,
keep going.
we have time.
What you got?
Everyone woke up on Thursday morning. I was up on Wednesday and I saw this happening late in the night, like at 1 in the morning. Yeah, like Phil said, Russia has.
Okay, I didn't know what you were
Europe.
talking about. I was super confused.
Yeah, Russia invaded Europe, something that many thought wasn't ever possible after the end of the Second World War. In fact, it's been over 80 years that a major power invades a European nation, a sovereign nation, by the way.
Well, what do you mean? No, hold on. Europe technically. Hold on. Is the Ukraine in the EU?
Yep.
Oh, they
It's
are.
not in the EU, but it's on the European continent.
Yes, but so is part of Russia.
Where?
The part that touches the Ukraine.
Oh, because they annexed it. So you're talking about the
It's not-
Crimea.
Yeah, I mean they're technically also a European state. I mean they're obviously an Asian state also because it's so massive. And if you think about the 90s, like fucking I don't know, Serbia invaded Bosnia fucking bombed Kosovo, like this.
Yeah, I know. But that.
No,
that
because you
wasn't
said nothing like this has happened since the end of the
I
Second
said-
World War.
I said this is the first time since the Second World War that a major power has.
Oh, a major
invaded
power.
Europe.
Oh, yes, but Serbia was a major power.
No, and those are internal in Europe, right? And it was
guess,
like within
yeah.
the country, it was a civil war.
I mean, I'm arguing semantics with you. You're right. It's the first
Yeah.
time that the fucking Russian Federation has ever been like. By the way, did you see Putin, the press conference he did where he basically said, "Don't fuck with me"?
Yeah.
Did you watch this? That was.
Yeah.
I have not been that nervous watching something in my entire life because he
I wasn't
basically
nervous.
said,
I was convinced more than ever that he has mental issues. The guy is a fucking sociopath.
and that doesn't fucking scare you.
Well, it confirms what many have been saying for years, that this guy's fucking off his
George,
rocker.
I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but
yeah,
he basically
that's
said,
maybe because you have no idea what
Yeah.
else he's willing to do.
George, Putin literally said on camera to the West, basically to Europe, mind
Yeah.
your own, I'm paraphrasing, mind your own fucking business because otherwise I will bring upon your nations a catastrophe that you have never seen in your history. If that's
Yeah.
not a nuclear threat, I don't know what is.
Of course it is.
wow.
And not only that,
That's
he
a nuclear
even,
threat.
He even called on to the Ukrainian military. He's like, listen, do the right thing, stand down,
And you'll be fine.
and stay home, and we will spare you, kind of thing, or
Yeah.
whatever. You'll be allowed. Yeah, you'll be allowed to go home and stay with your loved ones.
For I am a benevolent oligarch.
He
You know?
is fucking crazy.
I'm a
And there was
generous
some
god.
articles that I read where they were saying, and this is a detail, but it's an interesting detail. On Monday, he gave a press. He did a press conference. Like he had a video there, whatever. He gave a message saying that, by the way, we're still on Monday. He had no plans on invading, right?
Yeah.
He was wearing that black suit, white shirt, and whatever blue tie or red tie that he was wearing. And on Wednesday, they're thinking that it was a pre-recorded message. He's wearing the exact same clothes. He's sitting at the exact same desk.
I mean, he could have just not had the
Change?
time to change. He's been working in the war room.
Yeah. In 3 days, we're talking about a president of a maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's his fucking power suit. Like that's how he feels. He feels good. That's the one he wants to wear. It's the one he
Bring
took
back
off
that
before he
suit
fought
I
the
wore
bear.
yesterday. In any case, it's weird. I mean, I'm not ready to dismiss it. The fact that this has all been
It's possible.
premeditated. The video message was pre-recorded. As soon as his message ended,
Missiles
there
were
were
being
airstrikes
fired.
in
Yeah.
Ukraine. So
I mean, obviously it was pre-recorded. You're probably right in that sense. Like you don't just pop off. Let's go to studio. We make announcement while planes are already
just
been bound.
imagine how little he gives a shit. Where he's like, I don't care. I'll wear the same fucking
I mean,
thing. Let's
if
go
you were
record it.
if
Don't
you
worry
were
about it.
Putin, if you were Putin, okay, you have a massive standing army. You're a huge country. You're crazy. You're a crazy person, and you have all these nukes. Wouldn't you just do whatever the fuck you wanted, anyways? Like, what the fuck do you care?
This is a scary situation.
It's very
because,
scary.
in my opinion, it's not just going to end. The international community now is talking about sanctions. I mean, get your fucking head out of your ass and do something concrete on the ground. Oh, what kind of sanctions? Okay, let's have a meeting to discuss the sanctions and let's vote. Fucking guy. Meanwhile, there's civilians being bombarded in Ukraine.
I'm not gonna lie, George, and I'm gonna get slack for this. Like, people are gonna be pissed about what I'm gonna say. But to be honest, based on the state of his mental state and the arsenal at his disposal, part of me is like, let's just fucking I'm really sorry, Ukrainians, but you guys, I'm sorry. Like, no, we can't. What are we gonna do? We're gonna send in, like Trudeau's saying, sending in troops, right?
He's sending in troops, but what they're saying, because NATO came out and said that they're not.
Like, we
going
were
to
warned.
engage.
He warned us. He just told us, don't fuck with me. Part of me is he's the biggest kid on the block right now.
Okay, but
Like,
I mean,
also,
yeah.
I'm nervous.
A new, very dangerous special unit has been revealed from the Russian military. You guys want to see it?
Okay, this should be interesting. Yeah, okay. What's this?
This is the new special unit. in the
Bro,
Russian
stop
military.
interrupting for my
I
like
hate
years.
you so much. I hate you. I hate you.
Look, we're talking about war. I'm trying to liven things up, bro. It's depressing.
Yeah. So look. So NATO came out and said that they're not going to engage in conflict in Ukraine. So they're mobilizing the troops around Ukraine in case Putin decides to, let me just keep expanding while we're here. I mean, think about it. In 24 hours, the guy's taking up the whole country. They're thinking that within days he's going to occupy Kiev and overthrow the government. And obviously, we all know what happens then, right? He's going to call fake elections, put in his puppet, like they did in Belarus, like they did in Georgia.
I wonder what Putin's end game is now. What is he trying to disrupt NATO, the EU?
he's not disrupting NATO or EU, because I can assure you that if he
not disrupt, destabilize. I meant to say
everything is destabilized now, because think about it. Everyone is thinking about sanctions, and this is what I was going to get to before. The European Union met yesterday to discuss the, most powerful sanctions that could really affect Russia is to get Russia out of the SWIFT system that EU has.
But they threatened. The US threatened that.
Yeah. Basically, for people who don't know, it's a financial kind of transaction.
The SWIFT the SWIFT network is basically an old legacy network for transferring money internationally. Exactly. It's been around since I think the 70s.
That's where all the funds transfer for the gas exchange and the oil and all that stuff. And they had a meeting. Guess who decided not to vote in favor? Germany and Italy. Like, what are you doing?
Hold on. Are you saying that the former Axis powers? I'm just asking that the former Axis powers are saying, nah, it's good. Let the red state do what it wants.
This is very interesting.
They're obviously worried. They're obviously worried because cutting out Russia from the SWIFT system obviously is going to have a huge impact on Russia, but inversely, it will impact European countries as well. Especially Germany. Being blocked from receiving funds or sending funds.
Obviously, the sanctions would affect them adversely.
Yeah, I can understand that it's not an easy decision to make, and that there's other factors that need to be considered. But when you have every other country saying sanction in the most severe way, let's do this. What do you like? I don't understand. Who the fuck are you, man?
I have a question here.
Germans and Russian and Italians, man.
I mean, Germany has that complex where they think they're in charge of Europe, which they basically are financially. But the Italians, what the fuck are you doing? I miss Berlusconi.
Italy also screwed us over when Greece wanted to sanction Turkey.
Yep, because they're bitches, apparently. So, speaking of which, ever since this started in the Ukraine, I've been getting notifications constantly of skirmishes in the Aegean, nonstop. Have you seen this?
No.
Fishing boats, patrol ships, Coast Guard, Turkish Coast Guard, Greek Coast Guard. What's Turkey's role in all this? What's happening? Are they deploying stuff? Is that what's happening?
I don't know if they're deploying anything, because I had read somewhere that Ukraine pleaded to Turkey to close the access to the Black Sea. Sorry.
How would that help?
Well, in case anyone would want to come in to either attack or whatever.
Oh, from that front. Okay.
To avoid any military operations being... sorry.
Yeah, right, buddy.
Down the wrong path.
Yeah, you take a little swig there. Yeah, boy. Why'd you oof?
So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But, I mean, this, like you said, can open a can of worms in other regions, right? So the other thing is, and I want to go back to the argument that Pantelis was making, that, Russia has no choice. I mean, they have all these guns pointed to the country. First of all, we established last episode that it still doesn't justify them.
No, of course not.
Invading. But even if that was a legitimate argument that we don't want guns pointed to us, if you invade Ukraine and whatever, call it a satellite state or, call it whatever the fuck you want.
I always just assumed it was.
No, but guess what? If you do that, you now have more NATO weapons pointed at you.
Because you have new borders.
Well, of course. You just, let's say, quote unquote, you expand on your border. You're really on the line now.
Hold on.
With Poland,
Estonia,
you have Slovakia, you have Hungary, you have
Serbia, Romania. Does Moldova? No, Romania doesn't. Oh, they do have a border.
Moldova isn't.
Moldova. Fucking poor Moldova. Eh? It's just right there. It's like the forgotten Romanians. They're like, make your own fucking country, you backwater bitches.
Yeah. So that's why that argument doesn't fucking hold.
I mean, also annexing the Ukraine. I mean, I know they annexed part in the Crimea, that area, right?
Yeah.
But it gives them it's a whole new trade route for Russia.
Are you kidding me, man? Bro, Ukraine geopolitically is so strategically positioned.
It's the land of the Golden Fleece, isn't it? In history, that's where that was, right? And where the Ukraine is now. In mythology.
I think it was on wasn't it Georgia?
It was on the southern coast. You're right. You're right about that. But in that general area, the Black Sea.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Huge strategic position over there. Honestly, nobody's understanding this move. Nobody's understanding this move aside from thinking that the guy's gone nuts. He's gone.
What's his official stance? Like, why is he doing this?
So look, if we base ourselves on the statement he made, he said this, that the eastern districts in Ukraine, which for years now have been fighting between separatist forces, and these are Russian-backed forces, right? He came out, and I think this was on Monday or Tuesday, he recognized their independence. He goes, okay, there's these are Russians. There's Russian minorities living in these districts. I forget the name, in Donbass area, and there's two districts, and he recognized their independence. And because now they're considered independent states requiring emergency, urgent help from Russia to help them from whatever ethnic cleansing that he said that Ukraine was doing, that he had the obligation to move in and protect. Sorry?
Were they doing any ethnic cleansing? I don't really know the backstory.
They're all the same ethnicity.
From what I know, they've been in conflict for over 8 years. So it's a conflict. So
but they were cleansing what? Russians or Muslims?
Ukrainians.
They're Ukrainians and Russian ethnic minorities.
But who was cleansing?
Minority.
The allegedly, the Ukrainians were killing Russians. They were cleansing Russians.
But they're the same thing.
But they speak a different language.
It's not fully different.
It's pretty different, Ukrainian from Russian.
In any case, I mean, he used the argument that we've seen used repeatedly throughout history. The Turks did the same thing in Cyprus to protect the Turkish minorities. The Turks did it again in Syria to protect their minorities, and they expanded the territory to the south.
To be honest, even though it's dirty,
Azerbaijan did it in Ukraine. Right? And now Russia's doing it Azerbaijan did it in Artsakh, in Armenia. And now Russia is doing it in Ukraine. The problem isn't that. The problem is that, okay, you want to move in to protect your ethnic minorities in the eastern part of Ukraine. What the fuck are you doing bombing in the north, bombing Odessa, like bombing Kiev? Like, this guy has moved in from the north.
I didn't know that.
Sorry?
Yeah, well, you have to because you're
he's bombing the entire
fighting.
country. He moved in. From the Crimea. He moved in and took over Odessa. So he's moving in from the south. He moved in from the east. And he's bombing from the north through Belarus. So all these stupidities that people were saying, oh, they're just joint military, whatever they're called, joint military sessions there with Belarus. Bullshit. You had a couple of weeks ago, Evan Solomon here at the CTV. He was interviewing the Russian ambassador to Canada, and he asked him flat out. He's like, is Russia planning on invading Ukraine? Absolutely not. We're mobilizing our military for joint exercises with Belarus. This is well within our rights, blah, blah, blah.
But he was right. It was within the rights, and that was the plan last week, because everyone assumed that Biden wasn't this stupid and that he would back down on the whole NATO talks after, he would assume to force to keep neutrality, since we know that Russians weren't going to take any NATO aggression. And instead, hold on. And then what did Biden do instead? Fuck this guy, sandwich, ice cream. I can handle him. And then what happened? What did that speech do? It infuriated the Ruskies, who said, we barely speak English, but we do it better than that. And they attacked. They said, no NATO, no way. And now I read this morning that the Ukrainian prime minister is ready to negotiate talks of neutrality, and said something that I tweeted, said, what's the point of NATO? I don't think any of you bitches are fighting with us right now. We're getting attacked and you're doing nothing.
First of all, there's already been agreements signed with Ukraine and Russia based on NATO protocols. They had an agreement. Apparently, Ukraine had nuclear weapons, and they dropped them with an agreement that they signed with Russia that they wouldn't ever invade, and that the U.S. would, like you said, not expand into the Ukraine.
Exactly, and the U.S. was talking about expanding into the Ukraine for 2 weeks now.
This is years ago.
Hold on, George, because I am such a stud, I got myself a little document from your boys at NATO that was sent to the Russians, and what the Russians wanted and what NATO was discussing. And NATO is pulling a Trudeau. In the actual document that Russia was asking, look, we don't want further expansion. You guys said at this year you're not going to do it anymore. Then you did. You took over those countries. You said you weren't. You kept doing it. We don't want to happen to Ukraine. In the document, literally NATO keeps writing, they're gaslighting and doing what Trudeau does. No. We've always been committed to just the defense of our allies. We're not going to move. We never would have moved forward. It wasn't going to happen. He's like, yeah, but it did happen. You took over these fucking countries too. They went into NATO, and now you said no. Just like we told you in the early '90s, we're not going to expand more. Even though they did, they just keep doing it. So I'm telling you, I'm not for the war, but goddamn it, dude, you cannot keep poking the bear and expect for this to not happen.
Putin not to write it.
Yeah.
By the way, before we continue, Blankers dropped $5 rules in the super chat.
For?
Ukraine denied these regions the use of their native Russian language and cultural suppression.
What? What did that say?
Ukraine denied these regions.
Oh, denied.
He forgot punctuations.
He denied those regions, the occupied regions?
Yeah, the use of the native Russian language and cultural suppression.
So by that logic,
you can't
should
just bomb
Canada bomb Quebec City because I can't go to English Cégep now?
There is an English Cégep in Quebec City.
Not for now, but when it happens.
Oh.
Or because I can't go to, like, that's...
No. I'm anti-war. I don't want war to happen. But
Yeah, no, I'm
George
just trying to
keeps
draw-
falling in line with, like, the Western. And I'm Western, but... Guys, you can't go around bullying everyone, doing whatever the fuck you want, and then when somebody fights back, you're like, what? Really? You're going to slap me? This is bullying. We've literally jumped and taken over so many countries the past couple of years. Canada and the U.S. has been where? We've gone to Afghanistan. We've gone to Iraq for no fucking reason. We're just jumping. We're bombing people. Yemen's getting killed. And then this guy's like, fuck off. And we're like, oh my God, look at this tyrant. Guys, come on. We have to look at ourselves in the mirror. We're shit. We're garbage.
I agree with him. We are complete
to play devil's advocate when you have a country that, first of all, is very questionably can questionably be trusted. That is increasing the military arsenal.
Which country?
I'm talking about Russia.
Like,
if you
the
have
other
a country,
countries, we can trust them all. You're right. Go on.
I don't think you can really trust Russia. I don't think they've ever trusted
I don't think
Russia.
you can trust anyone.
Sorry?
Have you not lived in this country for the last 6 months? You can't trust anyone. All of our governments are corrupt.
So when you're increasing your arsenal to the magnitude that Russia has, I don't blame NATO for questioning their security, the security and the peace in Europe.
But
I don't see why they
George,
shouldn't. Yeah.
Why is Russia increasing its arsenal?
Well, So
because
this
it feels threatened by NATO.
Well, look, is it a chicken and the egg kind of thing?
I don't know. I think it's a perpetual chicken and the egg. I think he's probably right, but at the same time, they're bombing civilians.
Yeah,
like there's no conversation here that we can have three of us.
These international organizations are very quickly losing credibility, and we spoke about this before Pantelis came in. That NATO, even though this whole thing started because apparently they're planning on expanding.
It's not apparent. You're saying like it was a Russian rumor. It's not apparently. That's what they were discussing. Even in his statement this morning,
I think there's more to it than that. But let's assume that yes, NATO is at the very base of this argument in the invasion.
It is.
So the invasion is underway. And NATO backs out. They're like, well, no, we're, Ukraine is not a member. We're not going to engage in military activity in Ukraine, but we will enforce our NATO allies all around just to be sure that, Russia doesn't. Like, you got to be responsible.
Russia to join NATO.
I mean, it happened.
Problem
Sorry?
solved. We should invite Russia into NATO. Be like, maybe you feel left out. Join us.
Well, NATO's made to fight Russia. But here's the thing, George.
What a fucking
so
twist.
in a
And
statement.
the other thing, sorry, let me just finish on the international organizations here. On Wednesday during the day, an emergency meeting is called at the the UN Security Council. So the UN Security Council is the highest body. It's the only body that has members. All members have veto right?
Yeah.
I think there are 7 or 11 members of the Security Council. In the middle of that Security Council, that is chaired, by the way, by the Russian ambassador.
Okay.
Yeah.
Discussing urgently the matter at hand, Russia and Ukraine. Russia invades fucking Ukraine. Like, is it not fucking ridiculous? And instead of everyone getting up and saying, this meeting is fucking over, it's over, let's leave, They stayed there for I don't know how much more time trying to convince the Russian ambassador to call Putin to withdraw his troops. Like, are you fucking stupid? The guy invaded a country. Get off your ass and leave.
Hold on.
Leave.
Yeah.
Like, what is this meeting being held for?
Well, United Nations meetings, if you recall, when the Americans were leading the charge in the early 2000s, no one got up and left when America took over Iraq, when they went into Afghanistan under false pretext. It never happened. So let's not pretend that they're going to have a moral high ground on human
Pantelis,
beings
how
now.
ridiculous is it that the ambassador chairing the meeting that was called urgently to discuss the matter between Ukraine and Russia was the Russian ambassador?
That's what happened. That's what happened with the U.S.
retarded?
and Colin Powell. Remember Colin Powell when he lied about what they found? That was the exact same situation. And what did he do in front of everyone in the world? He lied, and then later on, before he died, he admitted that was one of the worst moments of his life because he had to bullshit people. He had to lie to people so he could kill millions of Iraqis. So this is not the first time.
You're mixing two things up. Colin Powell went to the General Assembly of the UN and pleaded nations to support the actions. We're talking about the UN Security Council that has the power to impose military engagement, right? So this is like whatever 7 or 11 members. I can't remember how many they are.
But Russia's a member of the UN.
Yeah, what do you want them to do?
Russia's a member state of the United Nations.
I know, but that's why my argument is that they're useless. These fucking organizations.
Of course, how is that? How is that your argument? I've been saying for years there's nothing more than the UN. Dude, the UN went to Haiti and all they did was rape kids.
And not only are they useless, but at least act like you give a fuck. Act like you give a shit.
But they don't, George.
In this urgent meeting that was called, don't put the Russian ambassador to chair this fucking meeting. What are you, stupid?
But why not? They do this kind of shit for years. It makes no difference.
George, this is years of indoctrination from being inside the system.
Yeah, you've been too inside the system.
Your environment is crumbling around you, and you just you
refuse to accept. Yeah, you refuse to take your pill. George, I've been telling you this. None of this makes any difference. Your boy Trudeau doesn't care about democracy. None of this matters. It's all theater. And another thing, hold on, before we go on, this is going to take only 30 seconds because you guys were talking in the morning about the CJEPs. Everyone in Quebec, all of my French fans and viewers, don't fall for it. C'est une piège. That's all it is. You know what that's why they're talking about CJEPs. You know what they want to do? They want people, to remain enclosed and think that there's no world out there. So they want to do is, as long as they can, they want to guard people here from learning another language like English, which is an international language, so they have trouble leaving. So they're always stuck dependent on the government. Don't fall for it. The more languages you learn, the better it is for you. That's why their kids go to private schools, just like fucking Pauline Marois. They send their kids to private English so they can learn all the languages, and they stop all the other Quebec kids from learning it. Don't fall for this trap. They know that their power is crumbling. They're losing it because of the internet, because people are getting educated. Don't fall for this. Learn whatever the fuck you want. Get educated.
Duolingo works.
Yeah.
But to get back to the UN, I've been saying for years that it has lost its credibility. I remember in university writing a 20-page essay on the UN's lack of efficiency on the Turkish Cypriot issue.
Yeah, they don't care.
And we can enumerate all the fucking conflicts where the UN has flat out failed.
So all of them. Give me one UN success, like a big success, like
I don't even know. Well, I don't know
which one.
Well, they have an underage sex trafficking ring that's been running for years.
I mean, a different kind of success. That's a financial success. But I mean, that's part of their manifesto. You know,
guys, I don't understand.
None, zero.
When you have countries like I had listed them the other day that are sitting in the United Nations Human Rights.
Saudi Arabia, they put them for women's rights at one point. Do you remember women's equality?
Well, that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah. They had Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. Let me tell you about the. Shut up, bitch! Let me tell you about the rights.
Ridiculous. Anyway, all this to say, and I want to close because I got to go. I have a lot of Russian friends and I have a lot of Ukrainian friends.
Same thing.
And it's not the Russian people. The Russian
the Russian people are out there protesting.
It's not their fault that their government is fucking stupid.
Hold on a second, George. Again, you're going back to this narrative. Their government is overly aggressive, and I don't like war, but they were the ones pushed to it. You can't surround someone's house with guns and then not expect them at some point to fucking turn around and start shooting you. This is crazy, George. Stop doing this. Stop falling for this fucking CTV narrative.
It still doesn't justify an invasion.
I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, I don't like war. I don't want any violence. I don't want any.
Okay,
I don't want Turks to get killed.
Sit down with your partners and discuss like a fucking adult.
They did for years, and what did they do now? What did they do 2 weeks ago? Biden said, no, we're not going to get bullied by. They're going to join NATO.
Nothing. Russia walked in and occupied and annexed fucking Crimea. Like, since when, dude? Since when do you walk in? Since when do you make claims to a country that doesn't belong to you, that is independent? There's issues in the eastern border. Okay, there are Russian factions claiming independence. Who are you to fucking decide what? Why are you declaring, recognizing the independence when legally there has been no independence movement created? I mean, let them figure it out internally.
Hold on. So are you for a free Quebec or not?
Who, George?
No, of course not.
What about the Iberian Peninsula? What about the
Basque?
Yeah.
The Catalan?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know the reality over there.
That's the thing. You don't know the reality. Those Ruskies do. Let them do whatever the fuck they're going to do. Look, this would have never happened. They would have never funded these rebels because this is all bullshit. Those regions should be part of Ukraine. They would have never funded them. They would have never started this shit. The reason why they did it is because the whole NATO talks. That's why this is done. This is nonsense. They shouldn't even be there. There shouldn't even be talks of escape regions joining Russia. It's complete lunacy. But he said, you know what? Let me play by the rules. They want to fuck around like this? Okay, I have a minority.
I'm afraid of an expansionist ideology that this fucking lunatic is kind of trying to impose.
I don't think that's what's happening.
That's not even what's happening, George. I don't understand how you're changing the narrative. He said it fucking, how many times have you been saying it? Stop with his NATO bullshit. Stop with his NATO aggression, and we won't stop.
That's a stupid excuse, a pretext to.
How is it a stupid excuse? They keep pointing missiles at his country from different countries.
Okay,
they've surrounded him.
Why would they do that? Why would there be a need for them to do that if they don't?
Because there's a military-industrial complex that's been feeding this since before the Cold War. They've been making money. Right now, who do you think's making money off this? You think it's the kids that are going to die? You think it's good for them? Lockheed Martin's making money off this shit.
I think that this whole NATO thing is a pretext for him to just pursue another agenda that he has. Don't hold your head, man.
But hold on. Hold
on. You can't know for sure that that's not true. Let's just.
What
assume.
I'm telling you is, from what we do know, he's been asking for us to stop doing this.
But he could be killing two birds with one stone.
What we do know, actually, Pantelis, is that he's been arguing for years now on recreating Russian satellite states, which is why he's been funding Belarus, and Ukraine may very well be that. So let's.
Okay. So what's the best way of stopping him from doing it? Getting into an armed conflict with him and having him take over the Ukraine like he's doing now, or negotiating.
I think negotiate.
So why didn't we negotiate? Why did we play hardball with?
I will always be in favor of diplomacy.
So why did we play hardball with him? Why did we play hardball and we left Ukraine holding the stick in the middle? We played hardball. We used them as a bargaining chip, and then when he wasn't playing ball, no one came in to support them. How come the Americans are? How come Biden hasn't sent troops to fight Russians right now? How come Germany's staying silent?
He's sending I think 200,000 troops in the neighboring NATO countries. That's a NATO decision.
Hold on. He's sending 200,000.
I don't disagree. I think the minute that they invaded, there should have been armed military support sent over to Ukraine.
But do you know when you don't? You know when you don't do that, like what he did now. When you know that you're wrong and you caused this, and now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's why Europe's not doing anything either. Because Europe didn't stand up and go, okay, you know what? Yeah, after a while, we got to stop pointing guns at these people because they're going to get pissed off. No one said anything. They all said the same thing. NATO, everyone. Just like Greece. Greece is another dumb country. We're in NATO. We get our airspace violated by another NATO member daily.
Turkey's in NATO.
Turkey's in NATO. No one bats an eye. Turkey talks about repeatedly, now it's on CNN Turk, they got to take over the islands. They want to take over northern Greece. No NATO member stands up. They do nothing. This is all a farce. But what happens? What do they all do together, though? They sign contracts on what weapons they're going to buy. What new jets they're gonna buy, and it's the same fucking companies that are making money off that. Who do you think is making money off this right now? There's Ukrainian women, there's Ukrainian men that are dying, there's Russian people that are fucking dying. Who's making money though? All these fucking defense contractors are making money, and who's negotiating these deals? The Americans.
Of course.
So
But I don't understand. I'm just trying to wrap my head around what exactly it is you're saying.
What I'm saying.
I'm gonna try. Hold on. Let me.
They know what they're doing. They were provoked into war. They were provoked into war so that people can up their defense spending, and that's what's happening right now. They're sending troops. They're buying more weapons because this didn't need to happen. I've been saying it for 2 fucking weeks about the NATO thing. This didn't need to happen, dude. You can't keep provoking and then waiting. You know what's gonna happen.
But in the last 20 years, while NATO has been provoking Russia, Russia has provoked NATO or border. I mean, what about the whole thing happening in Belarus? The satellite state.
Yeah,
but client state.
But that's what NATO is. All this, they're all client states of NATO, basically, right? That's the whole point. So they're both doing the same thing.
But Belarus is on European soil, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, but what's not on European soil?
I mean, all of Europe is more or less in NATO.
But all of Europe is on European soil?
Sure.
Okay. Is Russia European? Do you count them as Russians?
Yeah, we had that conversation.
Okay.
I don't count Russia as European, but anyway.
A part of Russia is...
No, but again, now you guys are actually talking semantics about the arbitrary lines that are made up.
I mean, I think Russia's on continental Europe to some extent. I don't think they're Europeans culturally. I think they're Russians. But they are on European soil.
But what does
NATO... I lost track of where we were.
Because this is what I'm going to tell you. So what does NATO have to do with European soil? NATO has nothing to do with Europe.
Doesn't it, though?
Well, no.
The way it was set up?
Well, no, because then why would Canada be in it?
Why would Canada
I think Japan might be in NATO.
Yes, it's the North Atlantic, whatever.
Yeah.
But none of them are in the North Atlantic, most of them.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's got nothing to do with it. They call it whatever they want. It's like the United Nations.
The No Russia League.
It's like the United Nations. There's nothing united about them. What he said before is 100% valid. They go there and they're asking the Russian guy, they're negotiating with him when he's fucking taking over another country, instead of yelling at him. What he said was 100% right. There's nothing more what I'm saying is these people, you have to follow the money. Who's benefiting from this, right? Who are the Russians benefiting? It's all these defense contracts.
But that's not what I'm arguing with you about. Yeah. I'm asking you about what you're trying to say in the... So you
what
said,
I'm trying to say is this was 100% provoked.
Yes, we know that. We can you said they're not sending in troops because they know they were wrong.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, what's the alternative here now? Now, forget whether what happened was right or wrong.
I don't think that's what's happening. I think they're not sending in troops so they don't put fuel to the fire.
Yeah,
and
but they already did put fuel to the fire.
We'll go the sanctions
they're
route.
Sacrificing the Ukrainian people because Putin's just too powerful.
So why sacrifice? What I'm saying is,
but you're talking about something that fucking happened
already. The people that's no.
It's happened already.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about something that happened. What do you want to talk about? Fiction?
No, I mean the last 15 years, it's happened.
What are you saying?
We've gotten to this point now. The idea that they would send in more troops and that would prove their moral high ground.
It's not moral high ground. It's right now. You
literally just said they're wrong. That's why they're not doing it.
They sacrificed Ukraine right now. Ukraine is under attack, right?
Ukraine is fucked.
So if you said we're back in Ukraine needs to join NATO.
Then we're
with
all
them,
at war if that happens.
Well, why aren't you backing them now that they're getting attacked?
Because then we're all at war.
But that's what you asked for.
No, they're sacrificing the Ukraine to reposition themselves because they're gifty.
How are they going to reposition themselves? They're just going to lose the Ukraine. That's what they wanted this whole time.
They've lost the Ukraine.
So then what's the point of all this? You tell me.
It doesn't extend the conflict outside of the Ukraine into European soil, into Asia.
Ukraine is European soil.
Deeper into Ukraine.
How do you know if they take over one more? What? That's like saying they gave they appeased Hitler because he would never continue. So Hitler, the reason you're telling me right now, when they appeased
nukes.
So why would they appease Hitler? They should have fought Hitler. They should have been less scared of Hitler.
They
didn't fight Hitler. They appeased Hitler for years. That's how Hitler got strong.
They underestimated Hitler for years too.
No, they appeased him. They didn't underestimate. They liked him. The Brits liked him. The royal family used to do the Zig Heil. They liked
true, yeah.
They're Glucksbergs though. That's not a country. That's the monarchy.
Phil,
that's
right
personal.
now, because Biden, we like to call him an idiot, and Biden is an idiot, but he's not actually in charge.
I know that.
So people know what Putin's capable of. People know his weaponry. They knew what was going to happen.
I'm only arguing you
can't tell me that they did not know. Real American intelligence did not know that Putin was going to do this. They fucking knew how he's... Of course they did, right? Okay,
but
so what did
the Secretary of State, what's his name? Anthony Blinken came out on Monday or Tuesday and said there's very real possibility that Russia invades and we've tried to negotiate and nothing happened. At the end of the
by
day,
the way, JP Belanger,
because I got to run.
I can honestly tell you, I haven't seen Fox News in maybe 11 years. Turn off the TV and fucking educate yourself.
Who's this?
Some guy in the chat. He's like, Pantelis, you stop watching Fox News. I haven't watched fucking Fox News in 11 years, bro. It has nothing to do with Fox News. You can, by the way, you can actually go online and get these documents.
The only thing I'm going to leave you guys on is obviously the fact that Ukraine got screwed in that agreement. I can't remember. I think it was in the 90s or early 2000s, where they had an agreement to drop their nuclear arsenal, with guarantees that they would be left at peace from Russia and that they would be supported by the U.S. Unfortunately, they were fucked by both sides, and that's what and I'll leave you on that.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Later, George.
Later.
Because they were also, because here's the thing. It wasn't just to drop the nukes. They were also asked to not join NATO. to keep a neutral stance because it's such an important country border-wise.
It's a buffer area.
So they didn't want, and then so I'm telling you, if I'm wrong, why this morning did the leader of the Ukraine say the exact same thing? Why did they say, okay, fine, we're going back to the table. Now it's time for us to discuss a neutral stance. A neutral stance now. Why? And he even said it. Because it looks like the people that were supposed to be our allies are not helping us now that we got attacked. So the leader of the Ukraine is saying the same thing that I've been saying for fucking weeks, now finally, but I'm the one who's wrong. The guy who's running the country is saying the same fucking thing, but I'm the one who's wrong. I never said
you were wrong. I'm just arguing you on... You one of your points, because you made a lot of points. One of them is specific that the only reason the allies are not... The allies, and I use the term because they're not actually...
Because they're not helping anyone. They're not allies.
No, okay, fine. One of your points is that the only reason they're not interfering now is because they know they were wrong.
It's not their only reason, but one of the reasons is because they can't, because they knew they were wrong to do this, because if they go into it, it's just going to...
So if they had interfered now, if they had said, fuck it, they're going after the Ukraine and fucking all of the NATO states sent in troops, right?
Yeah.
What would you say to that?
Like, horrible. It shouldn't have happened.
Okay,
it shouldn't have gone to this one,
Because at the surface, the way you're saying this, you're basically saying they caused this mess, they need to be on the front lines. That's what it sounds like.
No, they should be on the front lines, but I don't think this mess should have started in the first place. What I'm saying is they did it on purpose.
We're past that.
I don't want any war. I'm anti-war. You understand?
Yeah, me too.
So the whole George thing, the CNN, all these people that watch that shit, and a lot of people even on chat who watch Fox, CNN, all that, become pro-war people. They become either the Ukraine needs to be part of Russia or Putin is evil, let's take over Russia, all that stuff. They become pro-war. Why? Because that's what the news media feeds people, right? So that you're ready the second they launch one of these strikes.
Since the Cold War.
But this is dangerous because people, they just pick a side and they go, I want war. War doesn't benefit, it doesn't benefit you, it doesn't benefit the people in between.
They pick a side if it was in their own fucking backyard.
But it doesn't. But there you go. But it doesn't. The only people that it benefits, the people making money off this, don't give a shit about us.
No kidding.
You're gonna sacrifice your children. Like right now, Trudeau said, "Oh, you know what?
We have fought countless pointless wars so that people can become rich."
Yeah, that's what people don't fucking get.
Stop being fucking.
And this whole Putin's fucking powerful, has nuclear weapons. You have to address the reality. Because that's the reality. Like right now, if there's I'll give you an example. Because you can't give in to Putin. So you're a regular guy. You've never fought in your life. You have no mob ties, nothing. You're walking home right now. There's a bunch of gangsters. Guns out. Very dangerous people, okay? Be honest with me right now, chat. What do? Do you cross the street? You go up to them and tell them, you guys need to fucking leave from here? Because you shut the fuck up and you go home, okay? That's what you would do in real life. But for some reason, you want other countries to provoke gun-wielding. You want to say maniacs? Let's say fucking maniacs. He's been in power for fucking 50 years. Maniacs into what? Bombing your other neighbor. So you want to yell from your window, be like, you guys are a bunch of faggots. And who said it? That guy over there. So they could bomb your fucking... Are you guys crazy? Are you guys fucking crazy? Try to negotiate. Be like, how am I going to get you guys to get the fuck out of this nice neighborhood and go to a shitty one? That's what you would do. You fucking gentrify. But instead of negotiating with the Russians to fucking stay there, what do? They sacrifice the Ukraine, the peon. They're like, all right, what are you going to do, Russia? And forget jets, forget tanks. Bro, they have nuclear weapons.
Lots of them.
So what do we want to do? We want to go into full-scale war with Russia, and if they start losing, we want to all get fucking nuked?
I don't want to get nuked.
I don't want to get nuked. We were talking about nuclear proliferation a few years ago. We were talking about everyone starts getting rid of their weapons.
Getting rid of their weapons.
Slowly. And now we've reached this point, because I guess these fucking manufacturers haven't made money in years. We got to this point now. Ukraine was free, bro. Ukraine was part of fucking 90 Day Fiance, whatever the fuck they're... Ukraine was out there. They were having a fucking good time. And then the last fucking 10 years, bro, we're putting the screws on them. For what? Why do we keep sacrificing countries?
I feel like NATO was just trying to see how far they could go, and then they overplayed their hand at some point. They're like, how much can we push Russia without them getting angry?
But the U.S. intelligence knew this was going to happen.
I know they knew, but at the same time, Putin is a sociopath. Like, he is a dangerous
Of course, that's
leader.
what I'm saying, but you don't...
That's the only reason I'm okay with no one sending more troops. Like, I said it before you got here.
Okay, that's not what I'm trying to say. I get what you're saying.
No,
what I'm saying
is else before.
Right now, if I got you in a conflict, an armed conflict right now, I got you into it. I'm like, yeah, Phil, guy with a machete. I'm like, yeah, Phil's been calling you a faggot. Phil says he's going to fuck your mom. I'm just egging this guy on, and then the guy comes back and later, Phil. No. Morally, like, oh, fuck, I got to help Phil. I'm just saying because I'm the one who caused it.
I know.
It would suck because then we're both going to probably get stabbed. But I have to basically...
Yeah, but what if by helping me, that guy then sent all his friends to murder your entire family,
but that's what
loved ones?
That's what happened. But that's what I'm trying to say. So I don't want any... I'm anti-war. I'm not pro-war. I'm anti-war. I don't want any war. It doesn't benefit anyone. War is the craziest thing we still do. I don't want any war.
It is crazy that we still do it.
But we're not putting the blame.
I never really thought I'd see armed conflict again in our lives. I really thought it would all be digital cyber wars, financial
What I'm trying to
wars.
tell you, you guys are putting the blame on like everyone's in their crosshairs. They have Putin as the cause of this. He's the reaction to this. It's obviously a shitty reaction, but he's the reaction to this. We got to look at the source of the problem. You can't keep fucking doing that, bro. You can't keep poking the bear, and then when the bear bites, you're like, yeah, put the bear down.
I wonder what would have happened, what the world would have looked like had NATO not been formed. You know what I mean? UN, sure, okay, let's ignore that for this conversation.
Yeah.
But if NATO had never formed, would Russia have just over time naturally de-escalated itself because there was nothing threatening it? I wonder.
But there was always threats to Russia.
What were the threats to Russia that if NATO
China,
didn't exist?
Mongolia, there's always threats to Russia
Those
because
are Eastern threats. Like, it would worry about that side. Maybe it would have developed a stronger bond with Europe, I'm saying.
I thought, like, if you look historically, in the 90s, it looked like there was going to be a stronger connection between them. And then, honestly, what happened that fucked up was NATO. Because when they were open to getting westernized, they're like, hey, can we be friends? NATO, the U.S.-led NATO was like, of course, point some guns at him. Yeah, of course, we can be friends. We can be friends. No, the backyard, yeah, I'll take over. So what happened was when they tried, they're like, okay, now we can be Western. It was like, yeah, we don't trust these fucking Ruskies. And they were, but that's what happened. Look at history. That's why. And then they just kept adding countries, and all pointing these stupid whatever the fuck.
Surface to air.
But surface to air, because they have their own jets, basically the stuff that could kill them, pointing everything to Russia. So after a while, Russia's like, you know what? I thought we were friends, guys. Yeah. Why is everyone pointing guns? And I'm not saying that what they're doing is correct. Obviously, it sucks that it got to war. What he should have done, Putin should have pulled what he did at that conference with a few years ago when he was talking about Americans and war. He should have went public on TV and said, "Look, this is the state of affairs. I'm not posturing. This and this has been fucking happening. They keep fucking provoking this and this and this. We don't want to go to war. Ask them to fucking back off. Ask them to stop pointing shit at us." That's what he should have done instead of this stupid, oh, you want to fuck around? Back channel communicates. I'm going to take it over myself. That's what he should have done. Give public opinion out there. Get public opinion on his side.
At some point he did, though.
Yeah, it was shown for 30 seconds on CNN. Yeah. They stopped showing it.
I mean, that's a different problem. That's a different problem. Whether he said it or not is not the issue at that point.
No, he should have hammered it home.
Like gone on like a marketing spree.
Yeah, he should have hammered it home and be like, look, we don't want
like war, but we'll fuck you.
Yeah, we don't like fucking war. Stop fucking threatening us. That's what he should have done. Because right now, who's paying for this, bro? People that were in their village, Ukrainians that were just chilling, did nothing.
Yeah, they got bombed.
In their cities. They're there. One day they're playing fucking volleyball, they're making TikToks, and then the next day they're getting fucking bombed.
Did you see the videos of the air sirens going on?
Yeah, bro, it's fucking...
Jesus.
Bro.
I've been trying not to watch
And then
it,
that Applebee's commercial comes on, it was crazy.
Oh my, yeah, I saw that, bro. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, someone was filming their screen.
No, you didn't see CNN?
You didn't see CNN.
Bro, the most embarrassing, I tweeted it yesterday, bro, the
Jesus
most embarrassing...
Christ.
This is what war has become. Yeah, it's the most embarrassing thing. We're in 1984.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Applebee's commercial. Now I'm like...
Okay. Bring up my Twitter. Yeah.
I'm going to show you.
I tweeted it yesterday.
You're gonna laugh.
I can't find it.
They can hear the sirens all the way in Moldova. Fuck, bro, this is...
I mean, Moldova's as big as this room. No kidding, they can hear it.
Well, no, it's the distance, not how big it...
It's also on the border.
But think about how horrible that is, bro. You have kids, you wake up in the morning, you hear those signs, it's... And what happened to Biden? He's fucking awfully silent now,
He apparently speaking... What did I see here? I just saw something. Ukraine conflict live coverage. The fix. Oh my God. Apparently...
It's over?
Biden has a fix.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what it is.
You guys ever heard of Band-Aids? We got some.
I called the Russian king.
Yeah.
President? Yeah, we spoke.
Over ice cream.
I couldn't hear him.
I have the video for
Okay, put it up for Phil.
Yeah,
you never seen this,
Oh, what the fuck happened? Hold on.
I can hear it, but
It's
I can't
fucking,
see it.
it's bugging, bro. Hold on.
I like how he blames everyone else.
I'm not blaming.
It's bugging. Make it full screen.
Just,
Big. Yeah.
Yes.
Давай.
Air raid sirens ring out in Ukraine's capital. Terrifying, right? It's gonna get worse.
Obviously.
Little bit of chicken.
Whoa. How did this happen?
Little bit of chicken. Because that's prime time. That's when most viewers are watching because they're looking at the sirens. They got to make their money, boy. Make that paper, boy.
There you go.
That must have been a mistake. That must have been like a
No,
producer.
that's what this is. This is all money. It's defense contracts, Applebee's commercials, Pfizer commercials. You're all getting played, and people are losing their lives. Stop falling for this
You know what's
shit.
really
You
crazy?
can't be this dumb.
What's really crazy is 10, 12 years ago, if you're saying the stuff you're saying right now, you would have been called a radical leftist.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I am a radical leftist.
Like when I used to hang out in that basement in the Mile End with all
Yeah.
those like university commies,
Yeah.
these are the conversations we had.
Yeah, except for the communism part. I'm super anti-war, super anti-nuke.
I mean, but you call them. We
But
all
people
call them that.
assume, like the guy wrote in the chat, he's like, stop watching Fox News. I'm giving hard left opinions, and he's like, bro, look at this right-winger. I don't know what happened to people. I don't
Not
know how
really
they got...
a left opinion, to be honest. Like,
Anti-war. Anti-war is position of the left, bro.
no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
make
pacifism
sense.
is a position of the left, yeah. And we're not talking about communism. Communism and authoritarian governments don't count as right or left because it's a full circle. They go into their own authoritarian. But pacifism is a left opinion. It doesn't go communist route because I believe in people's individual rights and freedoms. But I believe in fucking full
but the
peace.
left
I believe in
is
finding...
still socialism, and and
No,
socialism.
they call themselves that, but they're
Yeah,
not.
But the whole left thing. That's
Yeah.
what.
That's what I'm
making
saying.
this
Yeah,
face, the whole
it's a
left, right,
circle. They say it's a line. It's not a line. It's a
not.
circle. So I'm
It's
left.
not
of,
even a circle. It's like a fluctuating spectrum.
I'm
depending
left
on
of the.
how
I'm left
stupid
of
you are.
the. I'm left of the center, but I don't go far enough to go back into the. Yeah, no, fuck that shit, bro.
So,
I don't want any war.
Or a
I'm over
graph.
here.
Or a
Huh?
graph.
I'm just over here.
No, I prefer. Look, I want.
Did you hear him?
I want
it's like
peace.
A graph, bro.
I want peace. I want individual rights and freedoms. I want people to live their lives. Their
Yeah.
ability to when they sweat, they can reap the rewards of the work that they put in. That's what I want in life. Which is it used to be more left leaning stuff. Now the way everything shifted, that's I don't know. That's anarchy. I don't know what the fuck they call it now.
Maybe,
Now
it's
I'm
a
an
form of libertarian.
Now I'm
anarchy.
alt right apparently. Now I'm alt right now.
Pronounced all right.
I want equal rights. Look at that fascist.
By the way, Applebee's apologized, and
It's not their fault.
Hold on, I was about
Unless
to say
it
that
is.
they pulled all their
Big
ads off of
Applebee's.
CNN.
They pulled all their ads.
They pulled
off.
all
Good.
their ads off. Good because this is 100% CNN's fault.
100%. This is the producer's fault.
100%,
This is
yeah.
the guy that's doing Poseidon's job at CNN's fault.
That's what I just said. You said no.
When did you say that?
When did I say that?
I literally said what it must have been a guy like Poseidon who fucked up, and you're like, no, it's the money. But if it was for the money, why would
It is for the money, but it's the guy. The
Whose
reason.
money? What are you trying to imply?
Well, they make more money on depending on where the ad spot is put, right? Depending on how many viewers
Yes,
were
but
here at the same
normally
time.
ads do not run inside of the PIP.
Yeah, they do. You never watch CNN?
No, I don't.
Yeah, they do. That's not.
They
no,
run
no.
them inside of the ticker.
Yeah, the ad spot isn't nothing new. They do it. You could watch it right now. They do it all the time. Yeah. What I'm saying is the decision of when to put the ad on. The guy's like, yo, this is prime time. He made the right money decision.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't a war, nobody would have cared. They do this all the time now.
Exactly.
They do this all the time.
He
Like when
did
they're
the
stopped.
wrong moral
Something
decision.
weird about that cut
go-
felt like it wasn't
go-
a commercial break. Like it was.
But that's what they do on CNN. Same thing when
Again, I don't watch
Go
CNN,
look at when Biden does pressers, and it's the same ticker, but he's doing it right. They barely let them finish. Remember how back in the day they'd finish and they would pan
do
out
like a
and be
wipe or something.
We're done here with whatever all that. They don't do that at CNN a lot of times when it's a big important thing. The second they know he's done, bam, it cuts a commercial. So that then when they go look at how many people were watching a commercial. They go, we had a
CNN
prime.
runs their ads. That's fucking monstrous.
They all do the same thing.
I
They
don't
run
watch- I
little
don't watch
fucking
any news on
Fox
television.
News. They all run their shit, bro. They have to make money. They all run their ads. It's toxic. I know. I'm not agreeing with it,
Super toxic.
but it's what they do.
It's also misleading and
Yeah.
it's a lot of things. I
They-
don't know.
they-
I really
because-
want Applebee's now, though.
Bro,
Money well spent.
First of all, they can't even. I think we discussed on this show. CNN can't even talk shit about anything that comes out now about Pfizer and Moderna. They can't because their biggest sponsor the past couple of years was Pfizer. So they can't say anything. So it's not news anymore.
That's true.
What are they gonna say?
It's a propaganda wing.
It's a propaganda
of a
wing.
corporation.
Yeah, they can't talk freely.
They might as well just change all their names now to Wayland Yutani. Like
People talk shit about George here. They go, "Oh, George, he's he's bought and paid or whatever." But
No,
George,
not at all.
but George,
I don't
listen to
believe
this now. Compared to CNN, George, who knows Trudeau personally, who was in the Liberal Party, George still comes out and talks shit when he wants to. This is more free than fucking CNN. George is more accurate than CNN. George, at least he's like, nah, fuck that. When it's wrong, when I believe it's wrong, I'm gonna say it's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
They don't do that on CNN. They can't.
I think George is still operating within the construct to some extent. Like he sees it, he knows, but he doesn't accept it.
You're-
Because he spent so much of his life inside of it
Yeah.
or supporting it to some extent.
You said this and you're 100% right. You hit it. The way
Never
I
say that.
explained it on Twitter, you're right. It's just because it's cognitive dissonance. But because somebody asked on Twitter, they go to me, "What is George like a wing? Like he's bought and paid for?" And I explained it. You know what the real problem is with George? George, unlike me and you, he's not a pessimist. He's an optimist.
Oh, I'm a nihilist.
George, yeah, that's why. So me and you are both like, we're looking at the worst possible scenario. We don't trust the government, nothing. Whereas George is not like that. George's like, no, guys, there's stuff in place. Everything's good. George is like, he sees the good of it.
Wait, you said I said something. What did I said the same thing.
No, you said that he has trouble accepting now that he's out of politics.
Because if he does accept it, it means that he was part of the aggressor at some point.
It might be that, but I think the way, when I speak to him, the way it seems, because he's unlike us, he's a nice person. Like he thinks he thinks government in the most positive sense.
We are famously assholes.
Me and you, we think government in the worst sense.
You said to me last week, you're like, you're a fucking weird guy. Honestly, you're weird and your movies are weird. If you weren't my friend, I'd think something was wrong with you. That's what he told me.
But we're all weirdos, bro. We're all weirdos.
No, 100%.
We're all weirdos.
I'm the weirdest of them all.
If you weren't my friend, I'd think something
Yeah, we're all weird, but we know each other.
Yeah, I'm the weirdest of them all.
We understand the nuance, right? Because I know you.
Right now.
We understand the nuance.
I suppose.
So I get you. So George is, because he's nice. Like George sees the good of government. Like, yo, there's a structure in place and there's laws, and no one would ever abuse it. That's crazy. So even
I
when
don't think it's that far. He wouldn't say no one would ever abuse
well,
it.
even when the leader abuses it, he's trying to find excuses, because in his head he doesn't want to be like,
Yeah,
oh
maybe.
fuck, bro, this is bad. He's like, no, guys, no one would. So
I think 6 months ago George was there. I think now he's in a different place.
Yeah.
For certain things, but I'll be honest. The way you came off about the Ukraine,
yeah,
like I agree with you for the most part.
I know, I know.
Okay. What happened to your hand?
it's a long story.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah. So the way you come off about the Ukraine, and generally the way you come off about anything, is aggressive as fuck.
Yeah, I'm very loud.
That's just you. And that's one of the reasons that I don't debate you. It's not worth my time. You get so loud, I'm like, I can't deal with this.
It's very Greek cafe.
You're very aggressive. There's a lot of this that happens.
No, that's not.
You were doing it, and then we've been doing this for the last 20
Oh yeah,
years.
but I'm not
in his
shaking.
backyard.
I'm just yelling.
No, I am just saying. Like, there's a lot of that.
But because
virality.
There's virality when it comes to
Sorry, not
important.
virality.
There's when it comes to important. Like me, the reason why I'm
No,
so
I
pissed off
understand,
right now
but
is
when
because
you
people are
say-
dying and people they're stroking each other's dicks and people are getting killed right now. Innocent people
I
are dying.
understand, but I'm saying when you do that, when
Yeah.
you come off like that,
It's-
and
yeah,
you're
it's scary.
saying exactly the opposite of what 90% of the world is publicly saying.
Oh, yes.
All of a sudden, to someone like George, even me sometimes, I'm like,
panic.
what the fuck is he saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of people have this gut reaction to say, get off fucking Fox News, bro.
Yeah. Even though they're the ones that are
They're the ones who are
pushing
on
for
Fox
war.
News.
They're the ones that are
Like-
fully Fox News. Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, another reason why what you said it, one thing multiple times. You kept repeating, I'm not for the war. I'm anti-war. Because even you, part of you knows that because of the way you're expressing it,
No.
you need to make
it's
that
because
clear.
you kept saying, so you want a war, bro. So I had to clear
I
it
never
up.
said so you want a war.
Yeah,
I
you
was
did.
asking you what would happen if. I wanted to know,
Yeah.
because I couldn't understand what you were saying. You were saying,
I'm saying is-
they're not supporting it. But I was like, but I don't want them to support it right now. Like, that would be bad for everyone.
But you have look. You
just wanted
have
to
to
understand.
assume. You have to assume responsibility. So if you thought that you didn't provoke the bear, if this wasn't planned, you would have taken measures to try to protect Ukraine, bro. They took zero measures.
I have no direct
They
control.
did the bull thing. They basically had the fucking the red tarp, and they were just waving it in the air. And then the second the bull came running, they pulled it. Ukraine was there, and they're like, "Later, boys." Like that's what they did.
But
Now you're gonna buy weapons from us, right?
think about it from my personal,
Yeah.
like me as an individual, right? I have little to no direct control over my representatives within my own government, right?
Yeah.
Our democracy is fucking broken.
Flawed.
Beyond flawed.
repair.
It's not flawed because it was built like this.
Oh fuck. He's dropping the hammer now.
So I have no control over my government. My government is now a member state of NATO. I have no control over my government. I therefore have no control over what NATO does.
Correct.
I'm a small cog in a giant machine of the military, industrial, pharmacal, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
complex, right?
Not even a cog, like oil.
I'm not even oil.
Oil's
I'm like
way
an
more
atom.
important.
I'm an atom in this
Go on.
machine. This machine pisses off Russia, and Russia's like, that's enough.
Yes.
And they attack another tiny little atom.
Exactly.
Now, as an atom, an individual atom who has zero control over this, I don't want the machine to send more atoms to the front because then we're all fucked. Double
Right.
fucked. Right now, the only one fucked, and I know it's selfish and I'm embarrassed to say it, but the only people who are fucked right now are the Ukrainians.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I'm not okay with that.
But I'm not okay with it, but I also know that if we send in more troops, more people will be fucked. So it's a damned if you don't.
I
It's
know,
a
but
Kobayashi Maru.
I know, but the fact that we got them into this mess, and me and you obviously didn't.
we're
Me and you are
atoms. We
against
have
this.
no control
Not
of
only are
this.
we atoms, we're actively against those policies. I'm against war policies.
We have publicly spoken against the machine, the pieces in the machine, the fact that we have no control over the machine. That's all I can do. I'm just
but
one
now,
man.
after we've been bullied
I don't wanna die.
and lied to, repeatedly, but at least from the 2000s with Iraq, with Afghanistan, with Yemen, when the bullshit's come out and we know that we were tricked. Snowden and Assange can't even go back to the country now because they outed a lot of their shit. We know that they bullshit us. We know that the military-industrial complex has been fucking around for 100 years, tricking us into war so that they can make money and keep global domination. And yet still people follow this narrative. People still like, yeah, we got to go to war. We got to war. No, we should be talking the opposite. We should be spending all this money on new technologies to help move mankind into a new fucking century. That's what we should be doing. All the money that, you know how much money Russia spends, China spends.
On defense.
Europe spends, the U.S. spends on defense.
Forget the big countries. Look at 2 NATO allies who are constantly buying weapons from the same contracts together to protect against each other, Greece and Turkey.
Yeah.
Like, if that is not the dumbest thing you've ever heard, like, once you look at it, I have to believe that most people have never seen these statistics or these exchanges, because once you know, you're like, this doesn't make any sense. What the fuck?
Yeah. Now Turkey's pissed because France said, "Oh, we'll sell the new Rafales to Greece, but we're not going to sell them to Turkey." And Turkey's like, "No, we want them too, because if the fighter jets are, we have to have the same quality fighter
I
jets."
thought we were allies. What happened? Or are we just allies against Russia?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
But anyway, some people, they don't like Macron already sent I told him yesterday, he sent an email to Moscow.
Yeah.
He said, just in case you go further, we've already surrendered. Just so you know, we've.
Cheese eating surrender monkeys.
It's such a good joke.
I know.
It's always a good joke. The French. You know what pisses me off about the French? That their resistance, la résistance, is so famous in World War II's history. When in reality, they wouldn't have needed a resistance if they had just not surrendered so quickly. Like, if they had actually resisted.
Yeah.
Insane Mo wrote what NATO is now, let's say. Insane Mo, the description, I don't know why, I don't know who that helps, the description of what NATO is. You want to know where the fuckery begins? Go find the description of what NATO was in 1990. You'll notice a big difference in the number of countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's the point.
I never understood the name of it. What
Well,
a
there's
strange
29
name
countries
choice.
pointing missiles at you.
Yeah, but it wasn't always like that. When it was 10 countries, they're like, yeah, it's 10 countries, don't worry.
Whatever. They're just
It's
scared
not
of
gonna
us. It's fine.
The problem is that every couple of years, it keeps expanding.
I
The
saw
idea that
something,
the Soviet Union never really came close to dropping nukes, but that now the Russian Federation may come closer is fucking
But
sad.
they won't come closer if they don't get attacked. Oh yeah, by the way, while all this is going on, wait for Taiwan to disappear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, China, did you see that they asked Biden, they're like, are you trying to communicate with the Chinese government to help further isolate Russia? And this was his answer, verbatim. I'm not prepared to comment on that right now. Because there's been back channel talks between Beijing and Washington.
So that they could join the Americans.
But no one really knows
What Biden wants.
No, Biden doesn't know what Biden wants. No one really knows what Beijing is thinking, because Beijing could go either way. They could say, yeah, we'll help you isolate, but we want this, and this, right? At the same time, 2 days ago, the US has been fucking bashing Canada for selling all our lithium mines to the fucking Chinese.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah, we've made some bad decisions
Bro,
here.
the world is a mess, bro.
Yeah, we've made some
Jesus
terrible
I
decisions.
think every time fucking Trudeau enters a room, they should just play that fucking Asian...
Curb music.
No, the Asian jingle there, the Asian riff.
Or Bollywood music.
I wish
No,
to
'cause-
hold a gun with Poseidon and fight, says Sapak. You want to fight? You want to hold the same gun as Poseidon and fight him? I don't
I wish to
understand.
hold a gun with Poseidon and fight.
Is that a sex thing?
Oh, he wants you and him to go defend the Ukrainians, I'm guessing. You ready, Poseidon?
Poseidon's not going to defend anyone.
I can't send...
He gets there, he's like, what are you
Yes.
doing? I'm TikToking, bro.
He is my soldier with the most mental damage. This is true, but he's also
He's a soldier of misfortune.
he's also my most loyal soldier. I can't just give him out to the war.
We need him for the
The
coming
only
race
way I'm
wars.
fighting is if Greece gets invaded.
Yeah, then we have
If
to
Greece
go.
gets invaded, you're going to go...
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Even
You're
if
going
I
to
die
go
like
fight
this.
in a meaningless war
Yep.
Yeah.
that stands against everything you believe in.
Yeah, well, what do you mean defending
Greece?
my innocent brethren? How does that stand against what I believe in?
What do you mean? You're fighting in another man's war, right?
No, it's my war. It's my family.
No,
It's my people
yeah.
that are getting slaughtered.
Yeah,
That's like saying you go back home, your house is getting taken over, your family's there. You're like, that's another man's war, bro. It's like
Yeah, well, it's like I'm not gonna go.
Anna, that's your war now.
Like, I'm
wow, that's
never-
crazy, bro.
I'm going next door.
I'm
Yeah.
never gonna go for Canada either, like to war like overseas and shit. But if we get invaded,
Look, man, if someone walked into the fucking...
You got that right, I'm
country,
defending
then
Canada,
yeah,
bro.
I'm going to take up arms, obviously. But would I fly across the country to defend The Greek borders, I don't
I
think
would.
so,
I
no.
would.
I have a
would.
family. That's not happening.
Bro, if right now somebody, I don't know, if fucking China decides they're gonna take over Quebec and we find out they're in Sept-Îles, bro, I'm going to fucking Sept-Îles, bro. I'm going to fucking Sept-Îles to defend Quebec. What are you, crazy? Of course.
I'll come as a fucking war correspondent.
Yeah, you have to. But you don't want it to get to that. That's the whole point, is you shouldn't look for war.
I saw something. Jordan Peterson put out a video, and he's like, everything that's happening in the war, this new war starting, is like, guys, look out for population collapse now. It's just like everything's depressing, bro. Everyone's really.
What do you mean population collapse?
Population collapse. Because Elon Musk was warning.
Oh, you're talking about birth rate.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to have kids because of how shitty everything
Not just
is.
birth rates, but also deaths. A lot of deaths incoming type of shit.
Well, if you think about it, think of the beginning of the 1900s, right? You had, I forget in which order now. What year was the Spanish flu? What year was that?
What year was the Spanish flu?
Before or after the Depression?
It was after World War One.
1914.
It was after World War One.
Yeah,
I thought it was before
1920.
World
No,
No, it was before
1920.
World War One.
I think it was
Oh
before
no,
World
it's the
War.
Spanish flu because the returning soldiers brought it from Spain.
So it was
Exactly.
1914.
So so it was between the two world wars. So think about it. At the beginning of the 19th century, you have the Great Depression, right?
1918.
1918.
Close,
So
close.
the Great Depression, World War One, the Spanish flu, World War Two, right?
Okay.
Now, go back to 2008 and let's start counting it out. Massive global financial depression,
Yeah.
right? That lasted longer than the Great
Thanks,
Depression.
Obama.
Thanks, Obama. A pandemic,
Yeah.
a false flag pandemic, that one that really didn't happen, the SARS one, the first one.
Ebola.
No, SARS.
Not in my life.
There was also Ebola though.
I mean,
That
Ebola
wasn't
is
a
a different
pandemic.
kind of pandemic.
No,
It was-
but there were people in hands.
Anyways, crisis, financial crisis, volatility, period of quick growth, a great power in a smaller area, does something that pisses something off, starts off a skirmish, World War One. What does the interwar period look
I
like?
feel like you lost yourself because you lost
No,
me.
why? Financial collapse, rebuild, pandemic, war. That happens every 100 years.
Okay.
We're at that 100-year marker now.
We're at the war part.
We're at the
Well, let
war
me tell
part.
you something. You want
But
to
are we?
You want to get into conspiracies, bro? I'll tell
not a
you.
conspiracy
I'll tell
theory.
you a
That's an
conspiracy right now.
observation.
I'll tell you an observable conspiracy theory. Palpatine, the guy who tells Trudeau what to do, that guy at Davos, Klaus Schwab.
Klaus Schwab,
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So he was discussing.
direct descendant of Leni Riefenstahl.
Yeah, I like his
conspiracy
Lenin
theory.
bust behind him in the videos. Like, I didn't notice you fucking call me. So he likes to discuss how we need to do whatever the fuck we can right now to change the world and move towards his vision of what the future should be like, right? The digital currency, the you own nothing but you'll be happy, all that crazy shit. Our man there is also very upset that the pandemic didn't take the lives that we were told it would from this fucking lab leaked thing. Our man Bill Gates also came out a few weeks ago. I tweeted this where he said, sadly, the latest fucking strain is not good because it doesn't kill people and it gives them more immunity. He actually said sadly.
Yeah.
He actually said sadly. Okay. So now we need more walls, bro. We need to start killing people because the amount of people we needed to die didn't die.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't put it past these cocksuckers to have their hand. They even said they're going to start doing climate lockdowns. You heard about that?
Yep.
The lockdowns are not over.
I've been talking about this a year ago. I think.
Yeah, so now you got upset. You were depressed because you were locked down because after 8, the virus is more deadly or whatever the fucking whatever lie they told you. Soon it's gonna be no, you have to stay in because the more people that go out, the more cars, the more stuff that's active.
You don't think it's
But you have to
suspicious that
stay
while
in.
they're preparing that, we all of a sudden have a fully marketable version of a product that we've had for 10 years, the metaverse, where we can all work from home.
Guys-
we don't need to leave. We can have virtual meetings and we can fuck virtual Japanese girls.
We're so dumb because we keep saying it's never gonna happen, and we put our heads down and we take it and we take it and we take it, and we're so stupid.
Yeah.
It's fucking
else?
obvious now. Who was it that told me? Oh, on the bonus episode, one of our guys that was there who has experience, work BMO, this and that. When we were talking about the digital currency, about
CBD, the central bank digital currencies.
yeah, about how your employer is just going to be able to decide what you can and can't buy or
I
whatever.
still haven't figured that out.
So listen to
I
this.
keep
This
saying
the-
that the government, but the employer part confuses me.
Why
Why would they have that kind of control?
Well, they do already. This is what he told me too.
Wait, what?
He's like, yeah, dude. First of all, I already know this from our meetings. He goes, just already now, company credit cards. He goes, we've been doing that for a while now. We're able to, if we don't want, like, because they give out these company credit cards. Like I have my company credit card,
that's a company
I
credit
give him
card.
mine, right? But they give him out to specific people, right? Back in the day, I remember when I was at EA, certain people that we know, one of them is in the chat, who used to have a card.
Buy anything they wanted.
Bro, his groceries. Doesn't matter, anything. He would just bang, 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 bang. So they did now is the specific stuff they don't want you to get. So, and they decide what stores, what products, whatever. So you can literally have 3 products at the store, but if one of the things that's getting scanned is, I don't know, weed or alcohol, like, no, you can't buy alcohol with this. the programming already exists. It's already there for us. It's just a matter of implementing it
right now. It's
on
only
everyone.
applicable to credits, whereas opposed to it's not applicable to currency yet.
It is applicable if you want to apply because debit card. The technology just hasn't been rolled out. It just hasn't. Been, it exists.
I don't mean technologically. I mean the way it's being done. It's only being applied to credit cards.
Well, the only reason why it's only being applied to credit cards is because the company is not.
If you have a company credit card, I mean that money belongs to the company. You're not earning something from it.
Yeah.
Unless you have an expense account that's open.
No,
to
but now
you want.
you're
That's
arguing
different.
apples and oranges.
No, but I'm just arguing that it's not the same thing.
But what's not the same thing?
Forget the technology. The technology may be similar, aside from the fact that it absolutely isn't. Because the idea of programming a currency and putting restrictions on a credit card, two different technologies, completely.
How are they two different technologies?
Because one is very simple. You have a credit card that can only be accepted at certain places, right?
Yeah.
It's a credit card. It's not a currency. You're not affecting the credits in the card. You're affecting where the card can be passed.
But it's only being applied to that credit card right now because that's what they're talking about. They haven't applied it to a debit card. But if the company would give you a debit card instead of a credit card,
but that's still not
they
your
would apply
money
the same
that's
thing.
being programmed. That's your card. It's your account. We're talking about
But that's what
programming
your money
the
is.
currency.
But that's what your money
even
is.
after you take it out of your
In
account.
a cashless society, that's what you can't take the money out of your account. In a cashless society,
but you can
that's what we're
transfer it
moving
to another
towards.
account. But
That's what we're moving
you
towards.
can transfer it to another account that doesn't belong to your employer.
Well, no,
That isn't
your accounts
accessed by
never
your-
belong to your employer. The
Credit
agreement
card does.
No, we were just you're sticking to a moot point. He was just telling you that technology already exists. He's already doing it for specific companies that ask for it. He's already doing it
someone
on their
I know?
credit card. This is someone you know. Yeah, he was here on the podcast. So he's already doing it for those companies that are asking. What he says is, we already have meetings about this. He goes, this has already been discussed. It just never clicked until the stuff that came out last week on the Rogan episode. He goes, this already exists, the program. This exists for a while. It's being rolled out like everything else, slowly in different aspects of it. What they said is they want a digital, cashless society. All digital, remove Bitcoin, basically, move to their digital currency. Just like when the drachma was changed in Greece, they gave you a grace period. And then the second that day hit, it doesn't matter how many thousands, millions of drachma you had, it's worthless. So you need to be, the second you're in digital, what would happen is you sign with a company. You start working tomorrow for Poseidon Industries. Part of what you sign, just like now they make you sign stuff of if you say something crazy online.
Fine.
They make you sign. One of the things you're going to sign is, you have a contract. We don't want you doing, drugs. Or, we like your talent, but you're fucking 40 pounds overweight. So while you work for us, there will be no fast food.
Okay.
So signing this means that anything that we give you paycheck wise or whatever, your money, you can't spend it on burgers, this and that, just to limit that because we want you healthy. For example.
Okay.
You sign that, the bank, when they deposit, the stuff comes in, they know what your limits are and what you can buy. So even if you're at the store, okay, and you're like, I'm going to buy burgers today, get your friend to buy the burgers because you won't be able to buy that with your card. Now, where it extends further is at least, and I'm not saying it's good, this is terrible. It's your money, you do whatever you want. At least with a company, you've pre-agreed to it, let's say. You're desperate, whatever.
That's kind of what I'm arguing here, that's the difference.
It still sucks. But now where it comes in is the government. Once the government starts imposing, this is arbitrary because the government's just going to impose, all right, you had your milk ration for the day. You can't be the only guy who buys milk all month. You have X amount of kids. Look, you got to find a way to make it work with 4 gallons.
Back up a second.
You know what's crazy too? They'll be able to make and kill industries like this.
Of course, yeah.
Your company, you've agreed to this with your company, right? So company pays you.
Yeah.
Now the company sends your contract to the bank and lets the bank know to put these restrictions on your account.
They go, this is the deposits going in and these are the restrictions. That's what corporations are. Corporations work together. Just like now how they froze accounts.
Okay.
They froze accounts like this instantly. They don't care.
But again, I'll go back to the point you made, which is right there you've entered into an agreement.
But it's a forced agreement because now that you're making this legal, you want to work. Look, at the end of the day right now, you need to pay your bills. You need to feed your family. If some guy imposes rules on you and you have no other work,
and you're going to take whatever you can.
You're going to end up taking, that's why.
It's coercion.
But it's coercion. That's why the slippery slope argument is the most effective one now. It's very scary. We got to pull back a bit. But people just assume, these guys go in meetings all the time. They know what they're talking about. They know what's best for us. But they never apply these rules to themselves. You ever notice that shit?
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
All the parties, all the mass mandates, all that, there's always, same thing in LA, they don't apply it to themselves. They only apply it to you. And then you still follow them. Like that, the best, who's that? In Chicago, the chick who has the photo with all the kindergarten students, they're all masked up and she's smiling. It's like the only person that should be wearing a mask is her. She's fucking 60 years old, overweight, but all the children are masked except for her. Bro, it's psychotic shit. Yeah. It's psychotic shit that we do.
It really is.
Like, yes, Lord. Yes, tell me what to believe. We're fucking. We've been given all this technology, all this power, and we're still monkeys. We don't know how to use it. No critical
Some of us
thinking.
know exactly how to use it. That's the problem.
What do you mean?
How to use it to further their own.
No.
agendas
I'm
and
saying
fuck
we
the
don't know
rest
how
of
to.
us.
Like, we have so many options to fight against this, fight disinformation. We don't do any of it. The people that lied to us for 20 years, we're still asking them for the answers. Like CNN, people are still watching CNN and Fox News to get answers on this war. Bro, CNN, they've all been pushing war for fucking 30 years.
He's not wrong.
All they do is push war. And they lie, and then they never correct themselves. You ever hear CNN or Fox come out and be like, yeah, by the way, that whole Iraq thing that we pushed on you guys was fucking, we know now it was false? Never. They never apologized.
Never.
We're sorry that your kids got killed.
So I'm just picking up the.
Remember when we learned that monopolies are bad in the 4th grade? Yeah, yeah, actually in school, I remember they taught me how bad monopolies are. And now that's what it is, just monopolies.
Yeah.
And we have a fake oligopoly here, right? With like the telecommunications companies.
Yeah.
Because technically speaking, it's just a three-headed dragon because it's the same body. Because they all get together and discuss limits.
I think
keep
you said
out
it the best way.
competition. Yeah. It's one entity almost.
And it's
split 3 different
more of a
ways.
hydra too, because like
It's
you
a
try to
hydra.
cut off the head and then another one sprouts. Like
No,
look
you
at-
can't cut off the head. They won't let you. That's the thing.
Well,
Is
they
they
won't
work
let you, but
together.
look-
They work
look-
together to stay up, and then they make these fake heads. Dude, it's crazy. It's fucking. So then you have
This
to
whole
ask.
episode has depressed me
Well, look, man.
because I have no power to do anything about it.
The only power we have is to tell people so they could get a little educated and they're a little bit more aware.
which is what we've been doing for this whole time,
Forever,
bro.
basically.
yeah. At least,
I take
do
no
our
solace in that anymore because I don't know how many people truly want to hear the truth.
at least, someone wrote in the chat now. He's right, Raphael. I think he wrote. It was well. At least COVID's over.
Not even the yeah, but
They
not even
really pulled back on COVID's killing us all really
Bro,
quickly. Yeah?
fucking Putin solved COVID.
but not even what did you just say? Sorry.
Just like BLM solved it for a while. Remember there was no
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah. There was a few months where
COVID is a bitch.
Yeah.
Scared of conflict.
scared of conflict. Yeah,
They're
that's what it is.
French. COVID is French. COVID is
Bro,
French.
we got so played.
yeah.
Yeah. That's why I
well,
had a nervous breakdown midway through the pandemic because I was like, nothing makes sense anymore.
You told me that on this show. You said I
Yeah.
can't. Like, it doesn't make sense because they're
I
saying
just,
one thing.
and then
another
I
thing.
dipped into like anxiety circles for like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
Someone goes, they used to call that a nervous breakdown. Like your brain could no longer process how much wrong information you were believing.
Yeah.
And I rebooted. I fucking rebooted. Took me a while. It was unpleasant. But now I don't feel scared anymore. Now I'm just sad.
You had a
I'm
good
not
cry.
depressed or anything. I just mean like it's sad to see how obvious certain things are.
Yeah.
How terrible certain things are. And people don't focus on that. Like, people want to know, are you using the right pronoun?
Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
Oh, somebody wrote that on a tweet. The guy got dragged.
What?
The guy literally wrote, "Stop saying folks and guys when you're praying for Ukrainians. Say FOLX folks to make sure it's gender
How's that
inclusive."
gender inclusive? That's just stupid.
Because apparently that includes all the made-up genders too. So, and then people are like, "Are you like people are dying?" Is like, use folksa with an xa.
I've never been for doxing someone, but I would dox that person.
No, I
To
don't.
the
I
internet.
don't mind doxing. It's just like, dude, you're a fucking imbecile.
Yeah,
we should put them in the front lines.
Yeah. Folks.
Forward, man. Can you not misgender me? What? Go they.
All right,
Go.
all right, guys. Yeah, the guys thing is problematic.
That's
I'm more of a
problematic.
table.
I hate
Per
that
se.
word. Yeah. Problematic. Like when people use it triggers me. Like I'm like, don't. You're using some
It's
problematic
like the
language.
general's there. Are you guys ready?
Someone
Are you
said it
guys
to me the
ready?
other day. I was doing an interview and they're like,
Forgot.
you're using some problematic
That's a good
language.
sketch, by the way.
Someone said that you're using problematic language.
Yeah.
By the way,
I got
that's
mad. I'm like, are you not a fucking person of color?
that's a good sketch, by the way.
Which?
Like everyone's getting ready to attack, and the general's there. Yeah, he's giving like a
You ready,
crazy-
man? Yeah.
And then he gives, like, he goes,
So I don't want to
yeah.
have to file an HR complaint right now on you, General, because I like you and stuff, but some of your words are very problematic. Like, you're
Yeah.
just assuming you know everyone's pronouns.
We will fight to the last man.
And by the way, the greatest
me.
gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Breaking news this morning. The Taliban calls on Russia and Ukraine to resolve the crisis through dialogue and peaceful means. Let me repeat that. The Taliban calls on Russia and Ukraine to resolve the crisis through dialogue and peaceful means. Statement concerning crisis in Ukraine. They came out with an official statement. This is, once more time,
The Taliban.
the Taliban.
This is the wacky
Friends of the
timeline.
show, the Taliban.
Hold on.
This is
Are
the
you
wackiest
saying?
timeline.
Are you saying right now, geopolitically, in this instance,
Yeah.
that we and the Taliban agree?
Yes, much like Much like in the 90s when Rambo went to support the Taliban in Rambo 3, the Taliban...
The Red Ruskies.
Yeah, to fight the evil Russians. Right now in our dialogue, at least here, the anti-war people, the Taliban are correct. This should be resolved through dialogue. We do not want innocent Ukrainians and or Ruskies.
Can you imagine that meeting? Hassan! Yeah. Putin is bomb Ukraine.
Yeah.
What we do? We should put out nice statement.
Yeah.
Support everyone.
Yeah.
He's like, should I give it to Ahmed to proofread? Yes, I want it to be clean.
Yeah, I want very clean.
This is our chance.
Yeah.
This opportunity.
You need to negotiate peace.
What
peace.
would we do? We would bomb them.
Peace,
Okay, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Peace between you. Peace between friends. Now, if any of these bitches get out of line, different story. But from what I see, it's all men negotiating with men. It should be peaceful.
And Vlad, he fight bear.
Yeah.
We don't want to piss him
We
off
don't
again.
want piece of blood again.
Yeah.
No, it's fucking this is a real statement from the Taliban. I wasn't making that up.
Hey, listen, man, that's a good statement. I agree. They should negotiate now. I still think the best option is to, because he'd never see it coming. He'd be like, Vladimir, we NATO, we've left you outside for too long. Join us. And he's like, what the fuck is happening?
But NATO exists to crush me.
But that's not true, Vlad. We love you. We didn't know how to approach you. And he's like, you love me, Vlad? This is all I've dreamed of since I was a young boy.
I did not know that one day I make friends with Fruity Trudeau. This is great day.
But think about that. As a fucking Hail Mary that he's true, Vlad's like, Trudeau's like, what?
He's like,
me?
May I take over Georgia? No, too much? Okay.
Too much.
Okay.
Azerbaijan?
You give me bit of a Kazakh border. Is this okay? I keep Crimea though. We can't let Turks get out of hand. Do you feel me?
Turks are also in NATO, Vlad.
This might be a problem. Conflict of interest.
But now conflict, like maybe you sell them jets and then I sell them jets and then I buy the jets.
That's why you need them. We gotta stop with the jets. Yeah. What do you mean stop with jets?
Bro, it's all up.
Yeah.
Bro,
we gotta stop fighting. Yeah, we gotta stop fighting.
The first NATO meeting in a tracksuit. He's like, oh, I did not get the RSVP. Was this formal attire required?
Everyone's doing this. Everyone.
That's so I don't know why he does
stupid.
Everyone's fucking everyone.
And he did it twice.
I know. He's
He
like,
made
I gotta
that sound
get
with his mouth.
That's something.
Can we end the show? I want to end the show.
That's something that his parents' village, like, it's a thing. It's like, bro, let me show you how
Like
I feel.
if you want to do that, if you want to make that, you should go like this, fast. You don't have to lick your
it's
finger
weird,
and wiggle in.
I didn't lick it.
And first of all, yeah, you did. You put it
No,
in
I
your mouth
didn't.
and sucked it.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah,
To make the sound.
But you put it in your mouth.
Yes,
Put it
And
in
you
your
sucked
mouth.
it. Yeah, what
and
are you talking
sucked
about?
on it.
Yeah.
You put it in. Hold on. You put it in your mouth
During COVID times,
and you
he's
sucked
touching
on it
everything there.
During
Yeah.
COVID
COVID's
time,
done.
and then you're gonna take your fucking mouth dick fingers and you're gonna touch these to clean them.
Yeah. Bro, you're a
Hold on, let me go put the...
Lysol.
Okay, no, stay so we can end the show.
No, put the Lysol. Put the bro. He does these kind of things, bro. He does these kind of things. He's a national embarrassment.
Which nation though? Multinational.
Bro, who knows what he touched today on the way here?
I know
All
that
in his
he came
mouth
in
now.
and changed the
Hand,
microphones.
he grabbed the doors, handrails. There's the hookers next door,
Probably
bro.
scratched his
There's
ass
so
when he
much
woke up.
semen
No,
of
the
other
hookers are
dudes
still
that
here?
went. Yeah, of course. There's so
They
much
took down
semen
their
now.
sign, huh?
There's-
Snake,
Did they take out the
the
sign?
digital sign in the front.
I have no idea. All I know is that I
What
saw
was it called? I don't remember now.
in the elevator. I saw them because they were. I was, what the fuck? And one of them was I fucking me. The other day I was like, what? And then I realized I go, oh, it's a hooker. Like I was like, who is this? What the fuck? What's going on here?
Oh, I
like,
think
where's
you
she
may be
went?
confused. I don't think those were ladies of the night.
No, she is.
You're sure?
Yeah, fucking. We saw where she went.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I've been seeing many ladies of the night-esque type ladies from the two
No,
other
no,
studios.
no. They went. She went to her spot. She was an
Oh,
Asian
okay.
lady. Yeah, she went to her spot. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I really thought they had left.
No, we also find dudes who panic when they see us in the hallway.
Yeah.
because they
They
recognize
come
you.
out. No, because they come out of there like, and
I see guys do this.
Yeah, because me
I
and
see
him
guys-
giggle.
I see guys turn the corner and go...
Yeah, because me and him laugh. I go, hey, like that. It's like,
You remember when we first moved in? Me, you, Poseidon, and Spiro were in the elevator with a guy who had just come out of there,
Yeah, and he had his zipper
and
open.
his zipper was open.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
good
we were
times.
just all laughing. Yeah, and the
That's
guy was
why I
like,
never
comfortable.
used that bathroom.
He was a bald man.
I saw
There's a
somebody...
little guy, I remember.
I saw somebody that we know that goes to our little spot for coffee.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
He knows him too.
Oh yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember that.
It's a
Lysol and Javel, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and St. Mo. There's some things Lysol and Javel just can't kill. We tried. He's still here producing the show.
Look, what kind of message? Because people always like, what's the point of this fucking program today?
We don't need
the
to have a
point.
point.
This we do have a point. This is the
I
point.
didn't say we haven't.
The point is war is good for absolutely nobody.
That's a lie. That's not true.
But
War
the
is
people
good.
firing
Who?
the war, for example, the Lockheed Martins of the world, the
defense contractors.
the Bush families, The Saudis, the oil salesmen, because in order to power the war machine, my friends, you need oil.
Wait, question. Isn't he also one of them, Putin?
Who?
The people who benefits financially from war?
Yeah,
He
well,
is,
this
though.
one is
He's
going
an
to benefit
oligarch.
him because he'll take some shit over. But
No, I mean, not including him being in charge. Like, he has control of
no,
oil.
not really, because he's selling it to his own country because he needs his country to succeed. So it benefits the people that are not
But a
involved in
lot
the
of these
conflict
companies
directly.
are also directly affiliated, or not officially, to Putin, and they would be selling to his enemies.
No, they
No?
wouldn't. No, he doesn't have that set up.
He doesn't?
No, what the
I'm gonna look
Saudis have
into it
set up
tonight.
is great. The Saudis, the
Saudis win.
The Bush family, they have because basically the more people go to war, the more shit they're selling them. They're making money. So kids are dying, but their pockets are fucking lining
Lined
up
in
nice.
gold and platinum.
So the war machine is moving, guys. Don't fall for it. The Ukrainians, I'll tell you right now, do not want war. The Ukrainian people do not want war. They do
I
not
don't
provoke
think
it.
anyone would argue with
Their
that.
fucking puppet leader and Biden and the rest of them.
We didn't talk
provoke
about one
this.
thing real
Hold on,
quick.
before we get that, I just want to. The Russian people also do not want war. I have many Russians in my feeds, all posting Ukrainian flags saying we do not want war. I did see the protest yesterday. I saw. We'll check that in a second.
The
'cause that-
Taliban releasing their statement. There's a picture.
Oh, bro, I
It's
thought that was
amazing.
Joey Elias.
No, it does look like Joey Elias. Yeah, but no, it's the
Oh.
Taliban.
So yeah, they don't want war. Don't fall for that. I know that Fox News and CNN are trying to make it seem like the Russians are bloodthirsty and they hate Ukrainians.
No.
The Russians are furious that people are getting killed in their name. No one wants this shit, and neither should you.
What about Chernobyl? Why did they take Chernobyl?
It's a historic site, bro, heritage site.
I don't think Chernobyl is a heritage site.
It is a heritage site. Many a great thing happened in Chernobyl.
Many a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they took it over like he said. There was monsters there. There was nuke monsters. That they
You
needed.
think the Russians are out there just trying to fucking
They're
defend
trying to
us?
save the world.
Yeah. From the Gaijin.
Yeah. No, I don't know why. I think it's just strategic. Speaking of that, we need alternative sources of energy so that we don't get stopped by any wars, which is why, my friends, uranium is the future. Go nuclear or go home.
Patreon.com/Pantelis. where you can get more of this.
Patreon.com/Pantelis to get more of this nonsense. If you speak French, and if you're in Montreal, why the hell don't you speak French? Learn it, people. I will be
Like the CEO.
running my hour 2 shows back-to-back in Laval, March 31st. Tickets are on sale now. Links to it are on my website and everywhere else you find me.
Site du web.
If you are on Patreon, there is a promo code that's valid till Monday, which will give you $5 off those tickets. It's a great promo code. It's a great contest. And the way you buy it, the way you buy the tickets and use the promo code is when you go
You subscribe to Patreon.
when you go buy the tickets, it says enter promo code on top, and then you click on it, you put the promo code, and then you pick what tickets you want. Because some people bought and they're like, I don't know where to put the promo code. So I'm telling you where to put the
Tell you
promo
where to
code.
put
Patreon.com/Pantelis. Come join us. Our man Phil here.
Hello.
Professional filmmaker.
That's me.
Phil, if you've seen his videos online right now, apart from his podcast, he is working with people on the cutting edge of technology. Some on the cutting edge of virtual reality, others on the cutting edge of cryptocurrency. Why do they work with Phil? Because people in the know where to go, and that's balabanos.com. Head over to balabanos.com to check out all of Phil's stuff. He's on social media. He's got videos. He's got commercials. He can make a propaganda film for you. Little known fact, you
There
guys
it
didn't know.
is.
We watched a CNN video earlier. You know who made that Applebee's commercial? Phil Balabanos. Phil Applebee's Balabanos
Cowboy
made
ass
that
shaking.
commercial. Our man George left early, but he brought us the news. George, which is he's the most positive out of all of us. He's the only good person that believes in
He is a breath
mankind
of fresh
left.
air.
Follow him. He has a great podcast called Just Us Dads. Him and a bunch of other fathers get together and complain about what technology is doing to their daughters. Just Us Dads. New episodes come out
And
weekly.
sons.
Very, very fun show. The Poseidon 69 on the production table. The Poseidon 69. Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, twitch.tv/ThePoseidon69. I have a theory that you will be seeing more of him on Twitch now that he got his brand new game, Elden Ring. He will be streaming live from his PS4. Am I correct?
Maybe I thought about it last night.
He will. I guarantee he will, because I've just mandated it in his in the workplace. I've mandated in the workplace either that or I'm going to stop him from buying hot dogs. I control the currency. I control the movement of currency here, buddy. Thank you guys for checking this out. We love you. Hopefully I get to see you guys live in about a month when we get back to live shows, English and French. The 2 French shows are up on sale right now, but there will be English ones coming. We're going to announce also dates in Sherbrooke, Quebec City, Gatineau, Ottawa, that kind of stuff. Toronto we're looking at. Maybe further out west. I heard some Calgary, Edmonton shit being talked about. So thank you guys, and remember, most importantly, go fuck yourselves.
It's not more.